Hello and welcome, everybody. It's Ukraine Update here on the Shills, and we start with the biggest news that's ever come out of the whole situation. But Vladimir Zelensky is now a criminal in Russia. We'll go on to that after. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We got Commander McMillan and Yana from Project Constantine, and as always with us, we've got James from Why Ukraine, The Last Alliance with us, and we've got our man Greg Terry joining as well.
Thank you, Dick. Dickie Dawson.
How's things going with all the stuff there? Greg, give us a quick update on what's going on, and we'll jump into things here.
We are right on time, right on schedule. Had some really good streams this week with Starsky, and of course, always I had that sweater vested one, Gertis, and the atheistic one, Johnny Pierce, and then yesterday with Jake Bro. It's been a really, really good week. Lots of good commentary, comments, lots of interaction, lots of emails, communications, and which helps our projects grow. And I can tell you right now that we are right on task with the export, the vehicles, just lots of paperwork that has to be done. In addition to that, I'm also facilitating with the city of Albuquerque, New Mexico, which people from my channel realize the delivery of an armored ambulance from Albuquerque to Kharkiv, and that's going along as scheduled. So everything is good. We're trying to get our aid there to help and see if we can get some of these frontline positions turned around.
Awesome. Yeah, speaking of aid, you know, we're doing our fundraiser with the Portuguese battalion of the NAFO 69th Sniffing Brigade right now, and I can scroll down here and show you that it's going pretty good. Look at that. Wow. Let's see if we can't do even better, though. Hey, fellow babies, come on. Let's go for it. Where does everybody want to start? Who's got what on the mind here? I am so disheveled. My life has been crazy for like too long, and I'm not really sure what to even say or do.
Well, throw this out there since you started it, but Zelensky being on the most wanted list, he was not the only one. There was 3 others added there in Russia, and you make a joke of that, and rightfully so. Let's laugh about it. What a joke! It's no different than Vladimir Putin be on the ICC out of The Hague. It's irrelevant. Okay, absolutely irrelevant. Doesn't mean anything in the big scope other than this. Think about this for a moment, folks. You've been hearing some chatter about getting the war to a place of negotiations, not from me, but even from Budanov's office and different things. And we always hear the reoccurring theme, Ukraine will never, which I believe, never surrender, never give up territory. I completely agree with that and support that, but you still will hear the chatter. Well, when the Kremlin goes out and puts Zelensky on the most wanted list for Russia, forget it.
Yeah,
okay.
you just nixed on that
You
whole
just
thing.
nixed that because, well, you're going to negotiate with us. And by the way, you're on the most wanted list. So a part of your negotiation is going to be your surrender. It's not going to happen. Come on.
Yeah.
Guys. So if that does anything, it will actually be a bonus and a morale booster for Ukraine.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow. That logic holds very
Listen,
solidly. Yeah.
If you supported, okay, so you're in Canada and you support. I don't know your political affiliation, nor does it matter for this conversation. But let's just say you were you're staunch on Trudeau, and you are a Trudeau worshiper. And I don't mean that negatively, but you're a big supporter of Trudeau. And all of a sudden, this country that you're in conflict with puts him on a most wanted list and goes after him. You, as a citizen of Canada and a supporter of your leader, you're going to say, hold on. You mess with him, you mess with us. So this can be a net positive for Ukraine. So I'm happy about it, actually.
Cool.
I hope they put everybody on the most wanted list.
That's interesting. I'm going to be interested to hear what my Ukrainian students think about this in the next week, because there's a lot of Ukrainians who, even through the whole war, some of them have been pretty much on the fence about Zelensky, and maybe this will push some. I mean, I would say that most Ukrainians are rah-rah Ukraine, but they're not necessarily rah-rah Zelensky,
Well, I will tell you this, and this, if there had been any other president in place, Ukraine would have already been done.
For reals.
I'm telling you. His ability to communicate, his ability to speak in English well, his ability to, a lot from his background of acting and comedy and all of this, I just believe he was the right man for the right time. And wartime presidents, and then all the rumors that run with his presidency will not be legitimate and all that. That's a bunch of bonk. That's Russian propaganda, guys. It is legitimate. And everything is legal with Vladimir Zelensky, and he's been a good wartime president. I wonder, for those that like to throw blame and like to throw accusations, I wonder if you would, everybody just pause for a moment. How would you be, okay, if you were the president of Ukraine, a war-torn nation fighting for survival, where you sleep 4 hours a night, you see your children who live right down the road for 4 hours a week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what condition would you be in? So, you have to always think. We look at many things in life and compare it to our perspective, and that is never fair. If you're gonna compare, you have to get in the same shoes, in the same skin, have the same experiences, have the same environmental conditions to deal with. Everything must be absolutely equal.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's not, comparison is not fair.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
I think it's safe to say he's the Winston Churchill equivalent here, because Churchill is the one who kept Britain in the war after France fell.
Mm-hmm.
I think Zelensky is kind of filling that same kind of pivotal role here.
And Britons were just as much on the fence about Churchill.
Many of them hated him. But he's the guy that was able to express those feelings of, we will continue to resist. We're going to have to face, blood, sweat, and tears struggle, all that stuff. He knew how to put into words what the British people needed to hear at the time.
Well, here's what I'll tell you, Dick, and I don't want to interrupt you, but just to go off that thought. So if you take the Winston Churchill example and you go with timing and we look at historical patterns, so basically, we take from 1939, Hitler's first aggression. There was other minors, but really 39, it got it rolling. And then really about 41, the international community starts to jump on board. Okay. And of course, it was a multi-front war, whether it's in Europe with Germany or in the East with Japan. It was, a world war, of course. But we now are into the third year. And yes, we have financial aid. Yes, we have France saying that, hey, we may do something. We also have the Italian prime minister coming out and saying, what are you, an idiot? An Italian boot will never be on Ukrainian soil. What do you want, a World War III? So we really need strong language right now to go against a dictator. But we're at a time now where it may come that we see other places begin to get involved in a different scope. And then I'm not saying NATO troops or anything of that nature, but a different scope, because it's gonna be necessary.
The statements this week by sure, go ahead.
I was going to say that's the second part of what I was going to say is, in addition to Churchill being the guy who was the spokesman who mobilized the British Empire, he was also the diplomat who finally convinced the U.S. to join. He was the diplomat who kept de Gaulle in check and kept France on, at least part of France, on the Allied side. All of those things, that was an important aspect, is the diplomacy aspect. And Zelensky is playing that exact same role of keeping all of these supporters and allies in line to continue supporting.
Yeah,
it's brilliant work.
He's way more than a media president who's just really good at doing the appearances and stuff. Absolutely.
The step this week that Great Britain took and a couple of other European countries took, of saying, yes, we will allow our weapons to be used against Russia.
Yeah.
That's freaking huge, man.
I also like how what is his name? Macron, their big boy in France. We reported it yesterday. Yeah. He's doubled down on the fact that he has no problems putting boots on ground in Ukraine, And
David Cameron and the Baltic countries. And it's, just like with just like with Abrams, just like with F-16s, it's, they take one little step, one country takes a little step, and then another country takes a little step, and pretty soon it snowballs, and now they're all, and that's the direction things are going. I just want to read something that I just came across on Euromaidan Press. And just in case you weren't sure where you stood in regards to this war. In the Russian-occupied Luhansk Oblast, mothers in hospitals are being threatened with having their newborn children taken away if neither parent can prove they have Russian citizenship. This was reported by the Institute for the Study of War, citing a statement by Ukraine's head of the Luhansk Regional Military Administration, Artem Lysohor. According to Lysohor, starting from 6th of May 2024, mothers giving birth in hospitals in the occupied Luhansk Oblast will be required to confirm Russian Federation citizenship for at least one of the newborn's parents in order to be discharged from the hospital. So they're literally going to take the chip.
And those babies will only be given Russian citizenship. They will no longer be allowed to have Ukrainian citizenship either.
Just in case you didn't know what was the good side and what was the evil side here, in case anybody
is such a quandary over that since this war started.
Yeah, I'm sure our viewers are all on the right side, but just in case there were some,
Oh, we might have the odd troll in the chat there. You never know, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we've got a new gag. Let me show you guys this. So if somebody gets all excited in the chat, now they get the puppy. See that? Yeah, we're gonna put a sound effect to it with a little barking and like the Mario jump sound, like that. But yeah, if you get too excited, you get puppied. So Dunk did that. He rotoscoped it out of a different thing he saw. He was like, oh yeah, That's cool. What happens when you've got an Emmy Award-winning visual effects artist on your team. You let him do the stuff because he can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just don't use a husky as the sound effect for it.
Commander's dogs in the background just going crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Speaking of which, here. Just in case our friend is watching and the puppy's watching on TV, rawr, rawr, here, Buckchuck's there to make your puppy mad. Rawr.
Oh
Oh God, what have I gotten myself into?
Sometimes you just got to play.
Sometimes.
Yeah. You know me. I'm just a 53-year-old child. But back to some news and stuff, because we should get, I like joking around a lot, but, we do try to stay on track and so on. The AI generated spokesperson thing.
Yeah. That is quite interesting.
Yeah. Do you want to tell us a little, Larry? You remember? What was it? Here, I do have an article in front of me. I can't figure this out.
It's called, the employee is named Victoria Shi, like SHI, okay? Because, let me get this, where exactly it says this, okay? Her name symbolizes the country's main goal, victory of Ukraine, and her last name is the abbreviation for the word, and I wish they didn't write it in Latin and actually in Cyrillic. So I'm just going to copy and paste this into chat and have Greg please pronounce this for me.
That's a good idea. Yeah, he can handle that.
Sorry,
Sztuczny intellect.
Yeah, sztuczny intellect. Okay?
Wow.
And that is Ukrainian for artificial intelligence.
That's artificial intelligence, correct, translated.
Yeah. So that's why she has she. That's where her surname comes from. Okay?
Yeah.
Look, I'm all about Ukraine is really trying to push their digital transformation and moving towards efficiency in their government and this sort of thing. But yeah, maybe.
So what her roles will include?
Yeah.
Her roles will include she'll be sharing operational and verified consular information with the public on the ministry's official website and social media channels. And she'll also inform journalists on the consul's efforts to protect the rights and interests of Ukrainian citizens abroad, and will broadcast information on emergency situations and other news. I mean, I guess in a way it works because she is always available. You don't need to go and wake someone up. You don't have to be like.
You might have to reboot her now and then, but I don't think she goes to bed.
I mean,
in our chat, Putin Huilo, that's the name, by the way, said, "Isn't she a Russian food dish?" And as I recall, it is. It's the
soup.
It's the crap version of borscht, according to Operator Starsky.
I have heard him say that. You're not wrong, actually.
Yeah.
We had a really good question here. Heinrich Barty in the chat there. Can we talk about Ukraine hitting lots of air defenses, etc., in Crimea lately? Prep for F-16s inbound, perhaps? Should we go to Commander first? Are you up on the news there?
Well, the way you stated, I think, was a misstatement. You said Ukraine is upping the air defenses in Crimea, which wouldn't make sense. It's the Russians who are
correct.
Hitting.
Yeah, hitting. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like HIMARS, I suppose.
Right. And drones and other stuff. But I don't know if it's so much then preparation for F-16 strikes later on, or if it's simply because they've done this repeatedly in the past. What they do is they conduct strikes on the air defenses, temporarily knock them down, and then send in massive strikes against, facilities and supply and C3 concentrations and take those out when the air defenses are down. Something which, honestly, the Russians, one would think, would have figured out by now when they're conducting strikes into the more heavily defended areas of Ukraine, which is that they suppress the air defenses before they start trying to strike targets. But they don't do that. They just throw stuff at it, and 80% of it
any
gets
Russians
shot down.
watching this chat, please don't follow the
Don't pay
commanders
attention to
advised.
Macmillan.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not worried about that because it's such an obvious thing, and it's not like they're going to have figured it out if they haven't already. It's something in their doctrinal mindset, which is you don't do those kind of complex plans because you simply don't have the trained personnel and the equipment to coordinate such operations. I mean, this gets into the whole thing of we've seen all those A-50 Russian version of the AWACS getting shot down. Those are the kind of things you would need if you were going to try to conduct these coordinated strikes at first, suppress air defenses, and then go in and hit stuff. And the more of those they lose, the harder it becomes for them to try to coordinate those sort of operations. And those are a very finite resource. We're guessing they have maybe 5 or 6 of them left at this point. And given the state of sanctions and such, trying to build new ones is virtually impossible.
Yeah. Somebody, Sarah in the chat was talking about these radar systems. I think one is called the Gravestone, and I can't remember what the other one was called, but yeah.
And you have to understand when you talk radar, it's very complicated because you've got search radars, you've got fire control radars, you've got 3D radars, which give different information than the search radars, and you have to integrate all those in to get a complete picture and be able to coordinate it. If the Ukrainians keep suppressing those radar sites, and more importantly, the C2 centers where they're processing all that data to create an updated picture, then it really makes it tough for them to do this kind of thing. And I think that's one of the things we're seeing throughout this war is the Russians are substituting what we in the West might call, high-tech operations and coordinated things with simple mass, because it's all they really have left is just throw a lot of shit, at the front and see what hits the target.
Yeah.
Because that's really all they have a capability of being able to pull off anymore. Now, mass has a quality all its own. Yeah.
As Stalin said. I have a question. Well, first of all, I need to make a statement here, and I apologize to your moderators, because I'm seeing there's a post. It's wonderful that you guys are posting my fundraising website, whyukraine.myshopify.com. Unfortunately, for reasons that they will not tell me, Shopify put a hold on my account. And
still?
Yeah, it's still on. I'm actually moving my entire fundraising platform to a new platform, probably by the end of next week. Because it's ridiculous.
Sons of bitches. That's not cool.
Yeah, so I'm reduced now to PayPal for fundraising purposes. Unfortunately, there it is. We are still doing a fundraising raffle, for a drone, for the 63rd Brigade and International Legion Brigade there. But so unfortunately, it's a real problem. And
put your PayPal link in the video chat so I can give it to the moderator team. Oh, what happened?
Yes.
Okay, there we go. Wow, he all froze there for a second. Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
Here, I will put it. I'll put it in our side chat. But okay. So with that issue aside, I have a question for all of you, and maybe Greg Terry or who knows, one of you can. Something that's been bothering me. Nobody can explain it to me. So Ukraine has had long-range ATACMS since apparently March. Okay. All right. Why is the Kerch Bridge still up? This is something I don't understand.
Who knows?
I'm sorry, Commander. This is what
Who knows?
I'm asking you. I don't understand it. What's going on?
This is going to sound strange.
What do you think?
I honestly do not know why it hasn't been taken out already. But one of the arguments, and I'm falling back on the theory of warfare, and I'm going to quote Sun Tzu or Clausewitz or something here, so bear with me. I'm sorry.
You're the only one that could, so go ahead.
One of the things it said is that you always want to leave your enemy a route of retreat. Because if you surround him in such a way that he can't retreat, he has no option to except to resist as strongly as possible. There is no way to save his ass, so he may as well just fight to the death.
Good words.
So arguably, if you leave the bridge open and allow Russians to flee once something happens, that's going to do two things. One, it means they're not going to fight as hard to hold Crimea, allegedly. And secondly, because you're going through that bottleneck, just that one damn bridge, you're going to create this huge logjam. Panic is going to ensue, and everything is going to collapse into chaos for them. Now, that's the theoretical point. Were it me, I wouldn't be playing that game. I'd say take the damn bridge out, because that's the logistical logistical supply conduit that's keeping the Crimean Peninsula supplied. Although there is an overland route, but if the Ukrainians do decide at some point to mount a offensive and cut that off, then it becomes isolated anyway. So.
And if you're unfamiliar, people watching, Commander McMillan, retired U.S. Navy, logistics is your specialty, right?
Yep. So that's my assessment of things.
My assessment is I respect Commander McMillan's insight and expertise and extremely valid points that I would agree with. For me personally, the Kerch Bridge is irrelevant other than a morale boost. Only about 10% of military supply is coming across the bridge now. And guys, this is not a little bridge over a 300-kilometer span of a river. This is a long, complex bridge system connecting Russian mainland to Crimea. And you can't take the bridge out. You can take a section of the bridge out temporarily, and we know that that can be repaired quickly. So the real effect is morale boost for Ukraine. Yes, we took the Kerch Bridge out, but if you look at the war, how it's transpiring early in the war, when Ukraine would hit places like the Kerch Bridge. Remember when it was hit the first time? The world went crazy about that and was good. And it's a good thing. It's the morale boost. But will it change the war? No. What's better to change the war right now?
In less than a month.
It was. So what's better to change the war right now is to knock out actual supply routes, not one that is cosmopolitan Hollywood. Let's knock out the Kerch. I'd rather see them knocking out ports, because a lot of infrastructure is coming to Crimea via shipping vessels. I'd rather see them take out the new train lines that have been built all throughout Zaporizhia and Donetsk lines, connecting Mariupol, Donetsk, Berdyansk, all the way down into the mainland. The highways that have been prepared. Forget the bridge, guys. Take out the stinking railroad tracks and be done with it, and continue instead of a cosmopolitan target. Yeah, we took out a bridge and then you get smacked with a glide bomb. No, take out their ability for energy infrastructure, refineries, keep doing what they're doing. Ukraine's doing the right thing.
Absolutely.
They've been hitting some damn good targets, right?
Yeah.
But Greg, that's not as clickbaity and fun as taking out the bridge and playing the song.
That's correct. But you notice those songs are gone.
Yep.
Welcome to Ukraine. And it's, hey, it's gone because, guys, it's not a 6-month battle anymore, an incursion, and it's over. We're in a brutal, hellish war.
Yeah.
And you can say we, because you spend a lot of time in it.
Well, I will say we, because all of you guys support Ukraine. Yeah, I go to the zero, but all of you guys here, all of you guys that are 448 watching right now, you are a part of our communities, and it's a we. And we all stand together. We support financially. Some of us go and some of us sow, but together we all grow as we make a difference for Ukraine. So it's good stuff. And
Amen,
Dick, if
brother.
you can get the Hammond B3 out, I'll start preaching.
Seriously, you almost did a rap just now. You were full on
naturally, James.
When Greg gets going, it's just a beautiful thing, man. You
We've,
just enjoy, you know?
I've seen in chat, in some other chat, they've kind of
100%.
nicknamed Greg the machine gun preacher.
Yeah, machine gun preacher. That's actually, that came from Pete. I mean, not in the chat originally, but even when the first time I met Pete, he goes, "Oh my God, I'm working with the machine gun preacher now." I said, "Yes, you are, brother. Let's go."
You guys want to hear? You want to hear a funny story about Greg Terry? What was it? 2 weeks back. Greg hits the home turf back in the States there when he first lands. And he gives me a link because he's going live doing some music and stuff with the church and everything. And I'm watching and I'm in the live chat saying a couple things, right? He calls me out live on stage. He said, "Oh, Dickie Dawson going to love this." And that's when you did the, "I cast out the demon in that chair."
Yes,
because of the cell phones.
The demon out of Dickie Dawson in the chair. And I was saying, "Dick, even though we're in church, I'm not going to take any more of this stuff, and if you think you're going to continue doing it, you better." The church no longer exists, but we had a good time.
Don't hold back, Greg. Tell us how
I
you
couldn't
feel.
listen. It's the only Saturday where I let my hair down. Okay, Monday through Friday, and I try to stay. Yeah, have a little fun on Saturday.
I wanted to bring up two quick things. One, the Institute for the Study of Warfare came out with an assessment recently and basically said neither side can win this war based solely on attritional warfare. It's going to take either maneuver warfare, which we've seen both sides having incredible difficulty achieving, or it's going to take something on the diplomatic front, negotiations or bringing in allies or whatever, to change the dynamic and bring an end to it. So that's why all this, as you were saying, taking out the bridge or the rail lines or whatever, that's an important part of the fighting, but it's not going to bring an end to it, I think.
No, neither is F-35s. They would be a big help. F-16s or, the Patriots being supplied. Of course, now it looks like we're having a delay on some of the Patriot training and systems, not until June. But regardless, they're good. They're necessary. And listen, do not misunderstand me. I'd love to see right now Kirch Bridge smash into the sea. No problem there. But I would rather
high priority target.
Exactly. I would personally rather see the rail depot at Bergensk taken out.
Yeah.
I would rather see
a great segue for my second point.
Huge difference, guys.
Great segue for my second point, which is you don't cut rail lines, because a rail line can be replaced and made operational again in less than an hour. You destroy the switching yards.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Once you do that, it takes months to bring it back into operation.
Yeah, you would have to put craters along the rail line every so often to make it inoperable, and where you can take out the switch yard, like you say, and that's one shot done instead of screwing around, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We had a couple of questions.
Literally getting tips here from Commander Macmillan on how to screw with logistics.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard to give the Ukrainians suggestions on how to fix things because they're doing such a good job.
So we should just change the stream title to "Here's how to sabotage Russian logistics."
I would plenty of people that are doing that already, though. So
I would say, if we want to hit bridges, that's great. Hit the railroad bridges. Hit the traffic bridges, hit the highway bridges.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you guys, and this is what I do not understand. So I do not understand this. And Zhenya, who's been fighting in this war since 2014, and for those of you in here who watch some of my stuff during the week, you'll know Zhenya. I have no concept and understanding as to why Russia has not taken down the bridges that cross the Dnieper River.
Yeah.
If they were taken down, the war's over. Yeah. And I do not understand it.
Weird.
it's very strange. We're talking, it's the only arteries, guys, that can connect east and west Ukraine. And now, yes, Ukraine has air defense. Ukraine is defending. It's easier said than done. I get all of that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But very few attempts. I mean, the most recent one is on the bridge / power plant there in Zaporizhia with the Dnipro power plant there. And they were one missile. I was on the strike, standing on the hole. They were one more missile from taking that down.
Wow.
And that would have been devastating. So fortunately it didn't. But to me, I don't really understand, if we talk about logistics and taking out important things, why more bridges a little bit behind the lines being hit.
I want to insert right here. If you're an
Don't
orc,
tell them, they know.
Yeah, if you're an orc, get the hell out of this chat right now, because you shouldn't be learning anything, you prick.
Well, somebody in the chat just said, easy answer, because Russia thinks it will need those bridges and knows it can't rebuild them. I mean, that's the only.
Thank you for that. But okay, thank you. That's what I'm saying. I'm just wondering. I drive across these bridges all the time, and I'm going, okay, if I was trying to cripple this nation, I would just take this bridge out.
Yeah,
we had the same thing in World War II, where the Allies are trying to seize bridges over the Rhine, so they don't bomb them, and it's the Germans who destroy all of them, except magically they try to destroy the bridge at Remagen and fail, and it gets captured. But
just for me, I mean, for me, even since the war began, I've always, it just was so much history there. Basically, a straight line from Kharkiv to Odessa is basically what their desire is. And for me, everything on that is east of the river. I don't really think Russia cares at all about west of the river. I really don't. I think they care about east of the river and getting that massive river as a barrier between them and Europe, and not having a ground barrier.
That's a really good point,
dude.
Greg.
We've called that from day one. It's a massive river, okay? And James can tell you, it's a massive river.
Yeah.
In many places, a kilometer wide.
Yeah, you don't leap over that in a single bound.
It's a lot like driving over the Mississippi
River. It's massive.
Exactly.
And for me, so if that's really what you're, who cares about the bridges anyway? So, and if you're in the chat, you're going, Greg, don't tell them, guys, if you don't think they know that, come on.
Yeah.
My 4-year-old
I mean, in
knows
World
that.
War II, as I recall, in World War II, you know, the communists blew up the bridges as the Germans were coming, and the Germans rebuilt the bridges, and then when they were retreating, they blew up the bridges on the Dnipro in the other direction.
Well, so, I can personally tell you that in this war, it's the same. There have been many bridges that Russia has blown, and likewise, there have been many bridges that Ukraine has blown. These are facts. And whether it's offensive or defensive. So it's not moved out beyond the frontal zones yet, but a lot of bridges have been blown by both sides.
Maybe they're saying, you know, we'll blow that bridge when we come to it.
Very good.
Let me run through a couple of super chats.
I didn't even understand what he said. For all of you out there watching, I don't even know, but they're laughing about something. I don't even know what he's talking about. All I know is where I come from, we cross a bridge when we get to it. So I'm not really sure. Okay.
That's the joke.
Yeah. Let me cut a couple of shout outs and super chats in here. We got Paula's Plane, Norwegian Krona, 200 of them as well. Super chat. That deserves a big boom. America, think of the film, The Ukraine War. The fight is here. I need ammunition, not a ride. Are Americans not for freedom anymore? Please. With love from Norway Cap. I don't like bullies. I don't care where they come from. It's a great shout. I never like to throw any shade unless people really earn it, like, you know, flat earth believers and things. But you know, there's I'm really glad that stall is gone and we've got things on the go now and whatnot, right? That was big for me. Yvonne Way came in with a super sticker as well. She's the queen of the super sticker around here, and you can see it there just below me, the little fox with the heart, you know, hanging out, being cool. And then you got Leathercat in with a super chat as well. Leathercat is the artist, the painter that's got some things up, Rick the Ukrainian doing auctions. And guess what? I can show you. What a transition that was. Thanks, Leathercat. Leathercat super chat is, with the orcs gaining mere inches on the zero line in barely two spots, and yet are being held or pushed back everywhere else. When the ammo gets to the UA front, like we were just saying there, the orcs are going to get not just routed, but soundly decimated. You might be overshooting there, but considering the lack of rocks for the slingshots Ukraine has had for a while now, I am interested to see what's going to happen when they fully have everything that's coming to them right now.
I think the best. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, let's just be clear, and I know that Greg will definitely back me up on this. Ukraine is running on fumes.
Yeah.
I mean, the weapons are past the border, but they're not in the hands of the troops necessarily yet. You know, this is like you run out of gas, you're 20 miles from the gas station, and you're just praying to God you make it there. You know, that's where we're at right now.
Logistics isn't about stuff. Logistics is about moving the stuff from where it is to where it needs to be.
Yeah.
And that's what the Ukrainians are up against right now, is this stuff is coming in and they have to transport it from the receiving point, which is, the Polish border likely or something of that nature, and get that to the troops. And we've heard from several times when we've had people on here how difficult movement near the zero line is. The closer you get, the more intense the artillery fire.
Yep.
Yes, the ammunition, when it arrives for the Ukrainian artillery, will make a big difference. But it's important to remember, for every one tube that the Ukrainians have, the Russians have about 10 tubes.
Mm-hmm.
So the Ukrainian artillery is more accurate. It can reach farther, but the Russians just have so damn much more.
Yeah.
And I would just continue to tell you guys, pay attention to mobilization.
Yep.
Equal to stuff. We need soldiers.
Yep.
Let me tell you, my students here in Ukraine, the men especially, a lot of my students are IT guys. They didn't become IT guys so that they could go dig trenches. Okay. They are freaking out.
That story is repeated millions of times. If people want to know the truth about inside Ukraine, we'll tell it to you. It doesn't mean they're cowards or they want to fight. Don't want to fight, but it's a very difficult situation with mobilization right now. That's just the safest and the fairest way to say it.
Yeah.
Not
everybody's cut out to be on the front doing this and that and whatnot. It's just a fact of life.
It's not just frontline positions. There's lots of technical. There's infrastructure. There's drone units. There's tons of stuff. We just need. And Ukraine will do a good job of getting people to the right positions to the best of their ability. So we just need to
changed, since the beginning of the war, when they were just throwing people willy-nilly to fill any gap. But the public Ukrainians don't necessarily trust their government. I'm sure some of us watching may know what that's like. They don't necessarily trust in the institutions. So
I think it's worth saying, what if the U.S. had said, we're going to conscript 500,000 people into the army and send them to Afghanistan and Iraq at the height of those problems? Think of the resistance and the fear it would have caused in this country had we done that. Now, we're not saying that those people are cowards. We're not saying that they wouldn't have been good troops, but nobody wants to go to the front except people who've already volunteered. The manpower grind is making both sides hurt.
Hold on 1 second, Jan. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I would just ask you a question out of respect to you, Commander McMillan. Isn't there a difference, though, because Ukraine is fighting on their home turf and not halfway around the globe on the other side?
Yes.
They're fighting to defend their ground. And if we're talking about mobilization going to Afghanistan, well, it's not our dirt. I promise you that if America was invaded and we needed to mobilize, it would have a different flavor than if we were trying to mobilize to send to the other side of the planet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
The other thing I was going to add to that is, let's be honest, the majority of the casualties that are occurring are to basically frontline infantry troops. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so those are the areas that they're running into shortages. The US and the British towards the end of World War II ran into the exact same problem, where casualties have gotten so severe among trained infantrymen that they had to just start drawing people from every other source they could. To give you an idea how severe this became, bear with me. I'm talking about history here. Remember that the US military at that time was still a segregated organization. In the last 3 months of the war, they were starting to integrate select black units or personnel into white combat formations without getting official approval from the War Department or the White House to do so. That's how extreme the personnel shortages were getting. I can't imagine that the situation at the front for both sides right now isn't getting really similar.
Yeah.
And know what what Halina told me is, because we were talking about, just what's it like there at the moment, and she told me with the ammo shortage there is at the moment, they know that every single soldier who goes out there, and that person's family knows that person goes out there, and they've all kind of made peace, not made peace with the fact, but kind of in the back of their mind, they're like, yeah, this guy is most likely going to die, because we don't have ammo. And Yana, we don't have ammo. We can't protect ourselves. And that is the reality.
Yep.
And I mean, she lives in Odessa. Okay, you guys
There's
know
also
how
a
bad
historical
it's been in
and
Odessa.
cultural.
Well, one sec, everybody. Before we continue, I think PT Fella's joined us now and got audio issues sorted. You there, dude?
Hello, can anybody hear me?
Yeah, we're good, buddy.
Yeah,
Welcome to the
finally.
show.
Yeah,
Yes,
we can hear you.
Hello, fellas and fellinas, ladies and gentlemen. It's awesome to be here again. Thank you so much.
Oh, great.
Yay,
Here, let's
nice
do
to
it.
have
Let's
you.
do a quick shout out here of the fundraiser again. So, if you're unfamiliar, and I really hope that's not the case, we've got a fundraiser going for a NAFO truck. It's the Portuguese battalion of the NAFO 69 Sniffing Brigade in the Shills. We've teamed up here to do this. Let me refresh just to make sure I got real numbers. Sorry, I should have done that first, but stupid is stupid does, right? I'm not Donald Trump, but not doing well. So yeah, we're at 10,500 euros out of 18,000. Give us a hand, fellow babies. Jump in and throw a couple of coins in the hat. We could use it. So PT fella, how's things going? News-wise, Ukraine situation, what's been on your mind?
Hello, everybody. So first of all, thank you so much for helping this campaign. It's actually going much smoother than I thought it was gonna go. It's going fast. It's going up fast. Let's make Ukraine great again. So that's been trending lately.
I love it.
About the patch, I didn't get the chance to talk about it in the last stream. The International Heroes patch was trying to make a bridge between the soldiers of the International Legion, which is the team that we are helping. We're helping the Paragon Company, which is International Legion of Defense Intelligence of Ukraine, and all the fellows that internationally are helping this campaign and the 69 overall, that there's other.
Was everybody else getting that weird echo? Now he's gone. What happened?
Oh, there
Are
we
you
go.
back?
Sorry.
Okay,
there we go.
there's a doubling on the audio. Is that just me, or are you guys hearing that too?
I did
didn't
not
hear the doubling.
Okay, good. Then it's only me. It's
Lucky
no big
you.
deal. I can fix my side. Sorry. Go ahead. Jesus.
Okay, so is my audio okay?
Yes.
Beautiful.
Okay, thank you. So we're helping the International Legion. Why the International Legion? Of course, every unit fighting now in Ukraine deserves respect, but these are guys that are leaving their families at home to fight for another country, and in my honest opinion, they respect all the they deserve all the respect in the world. So thank you so much for being with us on this campaign and helping those guys out.
Yeah, I personally think it's really important to help and sponsor the International Legion as well. Because I feel like, I mean, you guys may differ on this, but I feel like one of the best ways we can get people to care about what's happening in Ukraine is to have some skin in the game. If somebody from your country, from your hometown that personally is in Ukraine fighting, okay, that makes a difference. You're going to be more invested in that. And I really wish that, and I have actually spoken with the International Legion Command about the idea of somehow make it like sponsoring your local football team or whatever. Every little village and town in America should have a couple of soldiers or a unit that they sponsor. You'd be amazed how many thousands of Americans, just for example, have been or currently are in Ukraine. And
Exactly.
it would be great
and
if we could figure out a system for that.
Exactly, and people don't have. Many people don't have a notion of the scale of what the International Legion really is and how many people are there.
Even Ukrainians don't.
Yeah, sometimes, yes. By creating a more direct contact with them and exposing them more,
Yep.
not on an individual level, obviously, but it really makes a difference, and those guys are doing a tremendous job over there.
Yeah. Fighting for democracy for the whole world.
My
exactly, yes.
My connection to the show
I never
is
saw this as a.
Sorry, guys. My connection to the show is really screwing up. I'm just going to refresh. 1 sec.
Okay.
All right.
Is that gonna kill us all? No.
No, it's independent.
Will it drop?
What? Sorry, PT fellow. What were you about to say?
I was agreeing with you. As I understand, you also work helping the International Legion.
I actually enlisted in the International Legion and got injured in training. Stupidly injured in 2 different ways, and tried to go back. Was still injured and basically went home. And I've just finished physical therapy on my back. And in the meantime, I'm like, well, what the hell am I going to do? So I live in Ukraine, in case you didn't know.
I didn't.
I've been living here since 2009. Yeah. Well, yeah. Here you can look up. You can see my wife's orchids and the family icon. That's Santa Claus up there, Saint Nikolai. And
I see
the
all
flags. The flags I have behind me, thanks to Greg Terry's help and the help of the donations from my viewers, we were able to deliver 3 drones last week out to the 63rd Brigade and the International Legion 2nd Battalion drone team. And yeah, it was really awesome, and special thanks to Greg and his team for helping me, initially put that together. And now I've made those contacts, and yeah, thank you. And so now,
you were in training, so you were in the 4th Battalion, right?
Correct. Yeah, I was in the 4th. And I actually, if you want to know, my viewers, this may sound funny, but my viewers are responsible on my YouTube channel, Why Ukraine, for supplying the 4th Battalion with all of its shampoo, hand soap, floor cleaner.
That's so cool.
Toilet cleaner and toilet paper.
That's awesome, guys. Thank you for helping those guys.
Because literally, when I was there, we had. Yeah,
I respect that a lot,
because when I was in, we
got some latency between a couple of people here.
I'm sorry. I was saying that I respect that a lot because some people don't have the notion, obviously, because they're accustomed to a normal life. And sometimes for those guys, even a chocolate bar, something small like that, makes a huge difference and makes them happy and connects those guys to the world and makes them feel like they're not forgotten. So that's immensely respectful.
Cool.
Yeah, for the second battalion drone team last week, we bought this. We basically went to the health food store and emptied their shelves of protein bars, because that's something that, it's a fairly light source of calories, efficient source of calories that they can take them out with them to the to the field when they're already having to carry all this gear and ammo and everything. So for the Legion 2nd Battalion drone team, we were able to.
Lost James' sound.
Yeah, so did I. I was just about to say.
Your sound.
For a second.
I don't know why. I hear him perfectly.
Oh, for fuck's
Really?
sakes.
No, I'm just making it up to mess with y'all's minds.
Oh, my word. Seriously, Greg.
I couldn't help it.
Russian intelligence has intruded and blocked.
Fellas, by the way, if you write comments, I'm only inside OBS, so I cannot read your comments. So I'll see. I'll watch the show later and see what you said.
Oh, my word.
Okay, well, that's fun. So, yeah, James,
Can't hear you.
James, refresh, rejoin the video thing. Nobody can hear you. Yeah. Okay, so that's a thing.
Gotta love the mimicking.
That's a thing. So Yvonne Way came in and gifted out 5 Shills memberships. Tyler Dowdy came in with a super chat. Does anyone on here have any recommendations on a good non-Russian influence Ukraine history book?
On a good non-Russian
history of Ukraine.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Dr. Hold on, let me get it. Sergei Pluchy has it's called Gates of Europe by Sergei. Let me quickly get it. Gates of Europe. So this is basically up until Maidan. So starts off. Yeah, let me get it here. Gates of Europe. Let me do that, and then I'll post it in chat.
Yeah. I think James is back.
Go.
There we go.
There we go. We can hear you now.
Oh, good. Just be glad you can't smell me.
Okay. So I've posted
Gate-
it in chat. It
Gates
is The Gate of Europe, a
Ukraine
history
by
of...
Serhiy Plotky.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
The author's name is Serhii.
Sergey.
Plochy. Serhiy
Oh,
Plochy.
Sergei Plokhitzer. Yeah, a very famous author here in
Yeah.
Plokhy.
Yeah. So he wrote
Google
that
is her
one.
friend.
And then he also wrote another one that was released, I think, came out last year, on the Russo-Ukrainian war. And that is basically everything after. I haven't read that one yet, and I'm busy with Gates of Europe, but it's really good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and Plochy is one of the leading Ukrainian historians writing in English. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
We
if you go on YouTube and just Google Sergei Plochy, you'll find all kinds of awesome talks and stuff.
Cool. We had another super chat a super sticker from SSW Custom Sewing there. It's small for me. It's like a purple heart. I can't see what it says, but it's probably something nice because it's over a purple heart. So thank you very much. We had our own mod there, BME, come in with a super chat just for Greg calling out Dick on the church channel. That was awesome. And Leathercat comes in with another super chat here. By the way, all of my paintings sold. The current paintings on Rick's auction page are from another artist. I'll be doing more soon. Oh, good to know. Good to know. Cool. We'll have to see if we can get a few people to send in photographs once they're all received and everything, and we can show them on the wall. That'd be pretty cool. Let me just see here. I got a tiny echo coming from somewhere. I think I can kill that very easily. There we go. And let me just check over here. Yeah, we're all caught up and done. There was a question I wanted to get to here. Where is it? Sorry. Bev Groves. Hello, beautiful people. I've just tuned in and my favorite Commander M Super Santa is on. Any Mugga hats yet? There was another question about where to get Mugga hats. I'm not officially
NAFO
sure.
has I think
St. Javelin is producing a bunch of them.
Yeah, St. Javelin has started selling them, but I think they said it is on pre-order. I read a tweet saying it's on pre-order at the moment because they have to set up everything. And
I would actually give the advice to fellas to buy it from St. Javelin rather than other sources because it might come from China or whatever. Who knows?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I always try to be very careful about that on with my fun, because people can buy stuff on my page when it gets it back up and running, and I'm always very careful to buy from Ukrainian suppliers. But yeah, I think it's in a couple of weeks you're going to see those Mugga hats everywhere, man. You swing a dead cat, you're going to hit.
Yeah. I know YouTube channel Midas Touch has one out. You can get through them as well.
Yeah, already.
Moscow March really deserves an applause because she did raise millions for Ukraine without even wanting to. So she's an hero.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want one. I hate those kind of hats, but I will wear one I'll wear that one for sure.
Oh yeah,
with pride.
Yeah, and we do still have a very strict Marjorie, whatever freaking name is, Taylor Green. You're not allowed to watch this stream, so bugger off, bitch. There was a few more questions.
I would actually say that she would be allowed because every time she opens her mouth, Ukraine profits from it. So because she always says something stupid.
Somebody had a question just now. Maybe Commander Macmillan can answer. What happened to the Romanian Getic Legion that went to Russia with the Russian Freedom Legion?
First I've ever heard of it.
I don't know exactly. But, oh, okay, yeah. Well, they're part of the general international legions, I guess, and they It's just kind of an interesting thing because you could argue it's a NATO nation invading Russia. I know
so
that
this is sponsored by the
it's kind of
Romanian government?
no.
Okay.
They're just it's
Just volunteers.
unit of volunteers.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. One thing that I'd like to discuss is what's going on in Georgia in relation to the Georgian Legion. So the Georgian Legion, I don't know. I've heard their numbers are as much as 2,000, and I've heard that as much as 50% of their numbers are not Georgian. So in other words, they've been very good at attracting people from other countries into the Legion. And now that shit's hitting the fan, as it were, in Georgia, do you guys think they're gonna hop, skip, and jump across the Black Sea and when the time is right, maybe do something in Georgia?
That's
From
transportation becomes a challenge. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, from what I've seen
Yeah,
at the
fair.
moment, the protests are still really well managed, if I can put it that way, by the general public. I mean, to the point where the police basically withdrew into the parliamentary complex, and then the protesters barricaded the police into the complex, and
Yeah.
so it will be interesting to see.
Well, there's a second vote happening on this law that they're protesting, the Russian law, I believe in 2 weeks. And I think that's when it will, come down to brass tacks. For right now, the law passed by like a super majority, but that's because it's there's basically a unitary party that controls the Georgian parliament. And they're all controlled by basically one Russia-controlled oligarch, essentially. So I mean, as of right now, the protests are largely peaceful, except the occasional police beating. But it just makes me wonder because, that's
the Georgian.
There's a lot of members of.
I don't mean to interrupt you, James. I'm sorry. The Georgian president will veto it.
No.
So. Just
you
so
would
you
think.
guys
You
know.
think?
Yeah.
No, yeah. It's already public. Georgian president will veto it.
Oh, because I was understanding that the Georgian president was the one putting it forward. Okay.
No, it was other leaders in the government, but the president of Georgia, as far as I understand, will veto it.
Mm.
Oh, there we go. Professor Gertis. Greg's right.
I just want to.
Oh, Professor Gertis. I just read that Greg is right. What's up, my friend?
I just want to answer Liz's question. She asked who did the illustration behind me. It is a Ukrainian illustrator, and he did it for a protest they had in Chicago against a Russian ballet company that was touring there, and then he designed this graphic. And then we had a protest here in South Africa in 2000, also last year. Ours was last year, his was the year before. And we found this poster online and we contacted him. We were like, hey, can we please use the graphics? And he's like, yeah, we're like, we'll pay you. He's like, no, it's for Ukraine. You can use it for free. Here's the high-res version. Boom. So I'll post the link to his Instagram. I've posted it in chat now. So, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And just so you guys know, there is still a Georgian battalion fighting inside Ukraine for Ukraine. So good. It's some good guys. I've met some of them. I've met the Belarusian battalion on the front, and lots of International Legion guys. Especially, I've met a lot of guys from Colombia, and a lot of really good guys there. Yeah, a lot of guys from Colombia. But Georgians,
a lot of South Americans.
Yeah, a lot of South Americans.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Surprising, but yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. We had a couple other shout outs come in here. Yuri Bench I think that's
Speaking of foreigners, by the way, did anybody hear about the a group of Cubans who were working with the Russians, rebelling against them, shooting their officer?
really?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. No idea. No idea. I'll do a couple of super chat shout outs here. So Yuri Bench, I think that's the little symbol. Is that Israeli shekels? I can't remember. Everyone should contribute as much as they can. And it had the magic number of 69 to it. How about that? We had a blonde bombsheller come in. Great things coming from James. Why Ukraine? The Last Alliance. Coming soon. Keep an eye out. Good shout out. Good shout out. And Rose Rowley is in the chat there for a super chat as well. Thanks, Shills, for all you do. Well, thank you as well. And then we had a direct donation come in. Joe Medley sent in 100 Canadian. We'll give that a little as well. Every little bit adds to the whole. It does indeed. I'll throw that right into the NAFO fund as soon as we're done. Thank you, everybody. Did I catch up? Yeah, I'm caught up. Okay. There was a couple of questions I could go to. I should have been prepared, but I'm not. It's okay. I haven't heard from Freedom of Russia in a while. Are they still alive? I know they were pinned down in Russia at one point. That's from Brian Knight. Does anybody know?
Greg chuckled, and now I want to know why Greg chuckled when you asked that question.
Yeah.
Because 1 month ago, when the world went crazy and they were trying to push into Belgorod and make their little show, and most of the Ukrainian soldiers were not happy about it, but the world didn't realize that because we were making the show and we're invading Russia now. I said it a month ago. I said it'll be a month and they will disappear the same way it happened 1 year ago when they made the incursion into Belgorod. It's nothing but smoke and mirrors, guys. The battle's on the zero. The battle's not in Belgorod. And what a tragic waste of resources. It's ignorant. Sorry. That's why I don't mean to laugh. They trying to do something good, and they are helping Ukraine, but it's such chaos. And these are part of the reasons why there was a Zelensky to Starsky change. Not only defensive positions, but also some of these rogue actions that can take place due to miscoordination and uncoordinated commanders. And that's what you see when you see this stuff. Yeah, okay, so we went over, we lost some equipment. Yeah, we went and took a photo inside the village at the sign. I'm in Belgorod. Well, so what? 3 months ago, I was in Russia on the Sumy border. I didn't take a photo, but my boots were there. I mean, it just makes no sense. Absolutely no sense, and that's just the way it is. I knew it would. We already knew that guy. It was going to be a repeat of what happened 12 months ago, and here you go. There's your question. Where are they at?
Yeah.
Greg, wasn't it deeper? Don't you think it was the intention was to move resources from other frontline positions to Belgorod to make Russia move them?
I really don't. They didn't have enough push there to do that. So Russia keeps about 35,000 up on that border, and they're really not concerned about it because of the DRG pushing across the Sumy border there, and the Kharkiv border and the Sumy border and the Chernihiv border. There's a lot of chaos going on, and right now, since that incursion, we've seen a significant uptick in drone activity and glide bombs coming across not only the Sumy, but even up to 70 kilometers inside the Ukrainian border. And it would, my opinion, it would take a lot more than just some incursions to actually logistically move forces. Even if it was a couple hundred guys across the border, Russia has plenty there to defend that. It would have taken a much more concerted effort to do that. I don't know. When I talk to buddies of mine and they're laying in a trench, getting shelled, having drones fly nonstop. And I talk to them and they go, we cannot even lift our head. If I pull my head up, I'm a dead man. but the Russian freedom fighters are getting all the TikToks, all the videos, and I'm sitting here laying with rats. Why don't they come down here and help me? You know, it's just, there was some coordination there. I mean, it's good they're helping. Don't misunderstand me, please. But these are some of the things that Ukraine is fixing right now. So this is a net positive in the end. They're fixing some of these coordination issues and some of the misaligned plans. So it's good at the end.
Yeah.
I think it's also like maybe the Freedom of Russia Legion can go into Russia and maybe do some internal sabotage or stuff like that. Like
They can, but that's no different than
Yeah,
Ukrainians.
I don't even know if they are still there because they completely vanished from media. So
Correct.
it was an honest
Yeah.
question. I wasn't trying to assume anything.
No,
You know?
no, PT fella. You're. It's just there are 3 or 4 topics that are sensitive for me from spending so much time on the front, and that's one of them. When these guys are out there doing that and getting all the notice, every bit of it, and Ukrainian heroes who've left their families, and most have a chance to be killed, and they're fighting for their soil, and they literally are laying in a trench with mice running around and mosquitoes carrying them off. And we don't hear about them. That's the struggle I have internally.
And in my opinion, it has a lot to do with artillery and the EU's inefficiency to deliver artillery to Ukraine. From what I was told when I was in Ukraine with Dima and stuff, what the soldiers tell me is it's terribly frustrating to be able to see the enemy and not be able to shoot back. You know, imagine that. You can see those guys shooting at you, and you cannot do anything because you have to rationalize every ammo you have and select targets.
Slick Willie D, thank you for that comment, but I'm not sure, buddy. I'm not sure. I do go there and talk to them. So it's really not happening the way you think. That's a lot of Russian propaganda you're reading there, sir, or whoever.
Do I need the puppy?
I don't mean that. No. I don't mean that disrespectfully. It just says they're behind the lines, capturing. Hey, Najee, easily capturing Russians and putting them in the Ukrainian army. That's all Russian propaganda, guys. And let me tell you something else, Yana. You were talking about incursion. Just so you know, Ukrainians can actually go into Russia and fool them by speaking Russian, but a Russian cannot get into Ukraine and fool. Most Ukrainians because of the difference in the dialect and certain words in the Ukrainian language. So it's not just limited to Russians being able to go into Russia, but lots of Ukrainians, and I know some of them personally right now, working inside Russia, doing a lot of wonderful activities behind the lines to improve Ukraine's logistical positioning, oil refineries, backside technical information, troop movements. It's all happening, and this is an advantage Ukraine has. I mean, my Zhenya, whom most of you know from watching my channel, he literally could put on a Russian uniform and go straight into Russia. They would never know he's Ukrainian. Never.
No. All of these are industrial smoking accidents. Please.
But what I heard they've started doing now in Ukraine on some level is because of all the different dialects, and in certain areas the dialects are very distinct, and it's almost like a completely different language. They've now started using in certain regions they'll just use people from those areas to man the comms, and it's a dialect that's almost a language by itself. And these guys talk really, really fast, because by now the Russians have been able to pick up a few words in Ukrainian. They've been able to learn it and everything. But these guys talk really, really fast. They use their own words, and they're just like, these guys man the comms, and then they just relay the information back to the rest of the team.
This is probably good information for people, because Yana, you're exactly right. there are also certain Ukrainian words that a native Russian speaker has a brutal time trying to pronounce perfectly.
Like
where
Germans trying to say squirrel.
It's extremely, and there's just certain sounds in these words that a Ukrainian will know. In addition to that, okay, when we're going through the checkpoints, and Zhenya and I, of course, we have all of our documents, and now we've gotten to where we roll up to checkpoints now on the entire front, and we're seeing the same people. We know them.
Exactly.
And
right.
They know our vehicle, and they know we're coming, and we talk to them what's going on. And of course you still show them your document just to be legal. And they say, we don't, but all right, just show it to me. All right, go.
Yeah.
They know
you
what
gotta
we're doing.
play the game. Yeah.
Oh,
even though. Yeah.
But when we get to places where maybe there's new border guards there or new checkpoint guards, and Zhenya starts talking with them, we have a system the way we do it, because I have documents with me that pretty much I have access everywhere, okay, with certain documents I have. But we never pull those. We always go in succession to the amount of horsepower we need to pull. And typically when we're going through checkpoints, Zhenya just starts talking to them in colloquial Ukrainian, okay? And we never have to get anywhere because they know you're native Ukrainian. They know it. It would be like, talking to an American and not you, Dick, you wouldn't understand this because of your Canadian roots there. But, if we start to go in complete slang.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It'd be like somebody from Seattle trying to play like they live in Alabama. Not going to happen.
Exactly. Because we're getting down on the bayou and we've got to get down across the bridge, get down the back 40. You know what I'm saying, son? And when you go to that, they go, oh, okay. Well, that's not an invader. Okay. But they do the
Navajo code talkers.
They do the same thing. They're brilliant people, guys. We're supporting brilliant people. The number one asset a Ukrainian has is their mind and their ingenuity. Unbelievable thinkers, unbelievable.
Let's not forget the hot chicks, but just saying.
Thank you.
Dick, I'm going to cast the demon out of you again. When I talk and Dick Dawson's here, it's just like I mean, I can't handle it, Dick Dawson.
Demons of hell have opened, and I feel that I'm being invaded from spirits all around.
I've got those buttons too. I can do that as well.
Only for you, Dick Dawson, do I pull those toys out. But the point being, the Ukrainians, not only are they fighting for their home territory, they're fighting for their culture, their borders, their way of life. But guys, all of you in here, 452 watching right now, and we thank you. We don't have to agree on everything. That's the beauty of it. But we agree, we stand for and with Ukraine. And we may not agree on every detail, every piece of analysis. That's okay. What is beautiful is how we all stand together. And I'm telling you, we are supporting the right side.
Agreed. I just can't help but do that stupid crap. Sorry, everybody. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is actually something that it's kind of more into like going into like the UN Security Council kind of thing. But the Ukrainian Association had a few guests over from Ukraine here in South Africa, and they had a speaker, and one of them spoke about the need to kind of transform the international security infrastructure and architecture. And he made the point saying that out of all the main like permanent countries on the Security Council, there's not a single African country or Asian or South Asian or South American country. And he was basically making the point saying that when you're sitting there, and the purpose of being on this council is to provide and promote security. And you've got one of the permanent members of this council invading its neighbor that is nuclear armed, invading its neighbor and threatening the rest of the world with nuclear war.
And they're on the fucking Security Council. No, I'm not bleeping that.
Then there's something wrong with the system, And he made the point, and he did preface his entire thing. He's like, I do know that you're going to say, why are Ukrainians advocating for more people to be permanent people on the permanent members and a more diverse group of people to be permanent members of the Security Council? It's not because we think that you're going to automatically vote for us and say no to Russia, but it's because they believe that with that there's going to be a wider, proper representation and of everything that was going on. It was really interesting to look at it, but hearing him put it, it's like such an obvious thing, but the way he put it, it's like, if you break down what the purpose is of the Security Council and what Russia is doing, then you're like, actually, yeah, the system is kind of screwed up.
It very, it's redonkulous, Is that a word yet? It's not in the dictionary. It should be. We've been using it for years.
Now.
Okay. James, I don't hear you. Do you guys hear James? Sorry, am I cutting him off, or is it just me, or what?
Can't hear him.
No. I was just about to say something, but you called James, so let him speak. It's okay.
Yeah, go ahead. I can't hear James talking. I'm trying to refresh his mic. There we go. You're back. Okay.
Are we good?
Yeah, you got a lot of latency, though. Cool. You might want to rejoin the stream again.
Oh, good.
You got a lot of latency. Oh, wow.
Yeah, I can see the latency.
It's better if you just rejoin.
Yeah. Tech is James's enemy tonight. There's nothing we can do about it. We're just gonna fight through.
So what I was about to say was, I don't know if you guys know in the chat, but we can actually write a message on the side of the truck, these naval trucks. So if people in the chat would like to propose a message, something like that, I think it would be a great idea if we can maybe do a vote, or I don't know. It's not my show, but
that's just a good idea. No, go. It's a great idea.
Yeah.
So if anyone wants to leave a message, I can watch it later, because right now I cannot read the chat, but I can gather some of the messages later, and then I'll talk to Dick here. And
I love the idea. I'm putting in my vote right now for. We'll just go with the Metallica album, "Kill 'Em All."
Kill 'em all.
Written in the Metallica font. You're gonna do that? Ask for that as well.
Yeah.
We'll get one of those knockoff free fonts.
Well, people can just say pretty much whatever they want. There was a naval truck that said Putin equals gay, so so
Putin takes it dry nightly,
Aren't you glad you're here, Greg?
Overjoyed.
There we go.
Oh, we have James.
He's back. He's back. He's audible. We can hear him, and we're live. All right.
I had to shake a pickle anyway, so.
I usually say cucumber just because it's a little bit more self-affirming.
I usually say gherkin.
Where on earth? Mother, if you're watching, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, Mommy Terry likes us.
Yeah, my mother does love you, and I don't know why. я думаю, я буду на русском языке, потому что он писал и говорил на стрим. God, ты чё?
Oh, I think I just felt an evil spirit leave my body.
Good, because BME wanted me to cast more demons out of you. But I know one thing. James keeps talking about pickles. I'm going to be coming over to his house when I get to Ukraine. I'm going to cast a demon out of him, too.
Let me tell you, go down to my basement.
We lost you.
I did not do it.
Self-censored again.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
did you, James, we can't hear you.
Why does his audio keep dropping? Here, let me just refresh your microphone from here. You'll bring it to pop up on the screen. See if it works. For the love of all that is, YouTube streaming, why won't this work? Okay.
Normalna, as they say.
Normalna.
Yeah, we got him. We got him. Let's see if it works. Okay. So here we do have a couple of questions. We've got a Q&A running as well for the idea of the NAFO truck message here. Let me try to get to the questions room if I can get it to work here. Brian Knight was asking, I was curious if any country is sending shotguns and buckshot to Ukraine for Russian drone defense. Greg, any
I don't know about sending it. I do know that Ukraine has they have a pretty good. I mean, you have to be able to get them and purchase them, but they have a really good supply of shotguns and ammunition as far as buckshot.
Okay.
Personal witness to that.
Cool. Okay.
Well, related to that, these new NAFO trucks are equipped with a drone jammer. I'm not going to go into the specifics, obviously. But,
of course.
They are
operates on this frequency.
They are equipped with drone jammers now, so makes life easier and safer for those guys.
Yeah, which has raised the price a little bit, but surprisingly little, PT fella, considering what you get out of it. It's really worth it, isn't it?
Yeah, not only the jammer, but an extra set of mud tires, which might not seem very important, but they are extremely important because trucks get pop tires all the time. They get stuck in places all the time.
Yeah.
So that's why the 69 focuses so much on 4x4s and high-end engines. The first trucks were like a 2000 cc or something like that, and they broke down all the time. So when we buy some of these trucks, I'm only into fundraising. I'm not in the Ukrainian team, so they know much more about it than me. Dima would be a better person to answer that. But from phone calls I've had with him, these new trucks that we're buying are much more reliable. They're 3000 cc engines, 4x4. They see all the trucks bottom, So it means it's really important for those guys to get a truck that's reliable instead of just buying some random $5,000 car and having it break down in the middle of the battlefield, which happened before.
Well, PT fella, I think that's what gets missed sometimes when people hear about the NAFO 69 trucks and the brigade and, fundraising and everything is you're not just buying used trucks and sending them over. These are equipped, they're maintained, they're overhauled. These are real, proper vehicles that can do the test of time and last, right?
Exactly, yeah. They're super reliable. They change everything in the trucks. If a truck has any problem, they just don't buy it, and they move on to the next one. So it's all about safety. It's all about thinking about those guys that are risking their lives up there.
I will tell you this: I've been to the NAFO event, PT fella, in Kyiv with Rick and with Lilia. and saw the vehicles, saw all the things that is provided. And I will tell you this, they are incredibly well prepared vehicles.
Yeah.
From A to Z. And if you are a part of this NAFO 69th Stiffing Brigade in their purchase of vehicles and other things as well, highly recommended, 100%.
Huge.
I've seen them. They do a phenomenal job. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
I had a really interesting.
Thank you so much for your words. When were you in the? Maybe we saw each other, and I didn't know about.
I've worked in Ukraine 26 years, but I was at the Sniffing Brigade event in March in Kyiv.
Oh, in March. Okay.
At the monastery, yeah.
Okay. So our first truck was in October. That's why we didn't see each other. Because I met Rick Ukrainian there in person.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Well, it's nice to meet you here, PT fella.
Me too, man.
Yes, sir.
You guys can hear me now, right?
Yeah, but you're low. I'm trying to boost your audio up. Say a few more now.
Okay. A few more now? Okay.
Yeah, we hear you, but it's quiet. I can't seem to even boost your audio up. It's crazy.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I really got a bad echo that I can't kill.
Yeah, I'm hearing the echo as well now.
Killing me. I don't know what it is.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Okay, how about now?
No, everything's still quiet as hell. I'll tweak in the background, see what we can do here, and here. Is that any better? Can we hear you better now? God, the echo cancel isn't even working. James's connection to the VDO is just dying. I don't understand what it is. What do we got here for time? We're at 1:36, so we got about 20 minutes. James, you might want to actually restart your computer and rejoin, just because, like, it's a mess. It's not working for you, right?
That is what I will do.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what? Turn it off and turn it back on again. Okay, guys, I'll be right back.
Yeah, treat it.
I just want to tell Shirley, she just told me I would be mauled for wearing these colors in Russia, even if I added another color, which is wild and scary. Okay. To which I just actually want to say, I don't know if you guys know this, but Russia added the Trizip, the Ukrainian trident, as they added it to their list of extremist symbols. So it's right up there next to the swastika. Although, actually, for them, they have quite a lot of neo-Nazi rallies and no one there gets in trouble. So I guess it's not similar to the swastika then, since they actually seem to like that one.
Selective enforcement.
Exactly. So that, and then people can also get into trouble. You're also seen as an extremist now, and you can also get arrested if you say the phrases Slava Ukraini and reply back with Heroyam Slava. Then you can also get thrown into trouble.
What if you say Smert Voraham?
I was actually wondering about that as well. I read it. I was like, that's what I also want to know. So I'm with you on that one.
We let me run down a few shout outs and super chats here, right? So holy, I got to scroll back a bit here. So Niles G threw in a membership message there. Slava Ukraini. So I think we can all do a Heroyam Slava.
Slava.
We've got Annie Yuki Chick Wilkie there in the chat, and just saying, but it's a word that I can't pronounce, and I'll get somebody to translate, and we'll come back to that. You guys do this to me on purpose because you know you're going to screw with my shit, right? You're doing this on purpose, but keep doing it because I like watching back and seeing myself screw it up as well. We got CF Beauty, our own queen moderator, and the one who runs all the teams in the backup for us there. Off topic, forgive me there, D. But Greg, I watched your Bethel live stream. You're an awesome musician and singer. Everyone blessed to have you, dude.
Thank you very much for the kind comment. Deeply appreciated.
It was awesome. You guys be rocking. Your pupil, your student there, the dude that you've been schooling and whatnot, he's got proper pipes and style.
Oh, yeah.
That was really good, dude.
We have okay flavor for Pennsylvanians. I know it's not BC Columbia, but we've got proper flavor.
Yeah, man, it was good. If you got a little Christian in your bones, you want to be checking out what Greg Terry's doing on the church stream. Trust me, you will like it. I'm not a Christian guy at all, and I had a blast
I did cast
hanging
the demon out of you.
He did, yeah. But just it keeps coming back.
One and only Dick Dawson.
And then we had BME come in with a super chat there. Greg, cast the devil out of Dick.
I'm trying. I'm so trying.
Oh, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. Leathercat came in with another one. The Kremlin holds the UN seat illegally. This was in reference to the Security Council and whatnot. This has been talked about before, and I wholeheartedly agree with that opinion. I totally do. Let's go to here, a couple more to catch up on. Carl Elwell in the chat there, gifting out 10 Shills memberships, no less. Oh, I gotta hit the button 10 times.
Wait a second, Dick. On this one, Carl Elwell gets
Welcome to Ukraine.
Carl Elwell. He will always be on my stream and say, "Greetings from Vegas, baby."
I love him already. He said,
Listen,
baby.
No, but Carl Elwell has been a member of my community since very early when we had 5 people watching. So
wow.
I do not forget those people that helped us get started. Carl Elwell, thank you for the gifted memberships to the Shills.
Yes.
Appreciate you, buddy.
Big time. We had a comment in the chat here before I continue with the super chats. Heinrich Barty there. Dawson, I would pay money to watch We Are the World style video with all the Shills panelists and guests.
Okay, that would be good.
Okay, we're doing that, Greg. You know, you and I with the musical backgrounds, we are doing this.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, we're doing that. Okay. Okay, for sure. I'll even pull out a British accent and play What's His Nuts from the Boomtown Rats.
Can I do Michael Jackson?
if you wear a white glove and can moonwalk.
Yeah. That's awesome. Then we had
as long as I don't get charged for people with bleeding eardrums.
Yeah, we got to do it. We got to do it. So it's coming up. We're going to organize this.
Commander McMillan's going to do the Jonathan Winters comedy break because he has that look of Jonathan Winters and that laugh.
Why do I have this underwear on my head?
Exactly. And if you guys are in the stream, in the chat, and you know Jonathan Winters, then hello, good for you.
Damn right, man.
Now, boys and girls, I'm a football.
Exactly.
Love it. We've got a Salt of the Red Earth came in with a super chat there. You guys do not suck. Well, except James. I'm just kidding. I'm Sindarian Elf. Don't give James money for a mic. He would spend it on ass wipes. Jesus Christ.
Tactical ass wipes. Okay. Tactical ass wipes.
for the guy. Okay, yeah, I have. Yeah.
I told you about my tactical ass wipes.
Look, I can handle Dick and I can handle you, but the two of you at one time, I'm kind of feeling like Dick right now.
Is this over yet?
I'm not sure it began, to be honest. Then we had Carl Elwell come in with another Shills gifted out 10 memberships. I think I hit that 11 times, but who cares at this point? Carl, you be the best. Loving every minute of it. Just like Loverboy. And then we got Tyler Dowdy who came in with a membership message. We need a Dick and Greg Exorcist t-shirt. Okay. I'm feeling that. We'll do this up. This will be good. Oh yeah. And then we had a direct donation in from Ian Villanueva. $20 direct donation in, and it was just a Shills donation. So I do believe that goes into the 69 Sniffing Brigade Fund. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much. Let me just double check and make sure I'm caught up, and I do believe I am. We're close on time, but we're not done yet. Rotomax comes in with a super chat. Great stream, folks. Nice to see y'all together. If only we were in the same room. Wouldn't that be really cool? Wouldn't that be awesome if we were just like, actually hanging out in like a big bar, like, thing with the curved booth.
Oh yeah, that's
stuff,
exactly where I want to be, at a bar.
Yeah,
with
let's
Dick
make it
Dawson. Yeah, Mom. Where are you at? I'm with Dick Dawson at a bar. What are you doing? I'm trying to get him saved, but it ain't working, Mama.
Yeah. With every beer he has, he slips further from the good word.
Oh God.
Someone in chat said,
Excuse me,
said
I'm leaving for
earlier-
confession.
said earlier there, I can't remember who, but they said earlier Greg looks like he's the dad who got roped into going with all the teenage boys on the soccer trip.
Yeah.
Pretty
That's
much.
That's it.
But I love you guys, and this is what's awesome. I do.
I love how Greg lets it down a bit and chills when he's hanging out with us, right?
I do. I let my hair down, so it's,
Yeah.
Just a little half a centimeter.
Yeah,
half
I
a
was just going to
centimeter.
say, doesn't quite do it the way I do, but
wait a second. You have a ponytail?
You didn't know?
No.
He's a sound guy.
my
All
hair
sound guys.
my hair is long enough to get caught in my belt, and I'm 6'1".
Oh, that's I used to have that.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you did. Hey,
Whoa.
we got Curtis in. Woohoo!
Let
We
me
have
let
the
me give you
doctor.
let me give you some advice, Professor Gertis. Leave. This, all I can say is welcome to the gates of hell, and I'm doing my best to cast the demon out
Nice
of
to meet
Dick
you.
Dawson.
Well, escape while there's still time.
Nice to have you here,
interesting.
Professor. Welcome.
Hello. Yeah. Greg didn't want to hang out at the bar or something. That's what we're just catching here before I got back on. Okay. So. All right.
Dick, I love the hair, dude. Looking good, bro.
Yeah, you had no clue, did you? That's hilarious.
Make me want to grow mine back,
Am I too little, too late here? Is that
No.
No, Commander McMillan was just being jealous over Dick's hair. That's all. That's what's happening right now. But other than that, we're good to go.
Are you kidding? I could make toupees for the Latia and still have long hair. Never mind.
Oh my goodness.
That's good stuff.
So Dr. Gertis, what's new, man?
Yeah,
Well,
what's on your mind, buddy?
So I'm sorry to ditch you last week. I just got overwhelmed. I think this is like the busiest week of my year. Yesterday and today was graduation. So in my timeline, this is a very busy time frame. But last week I talked about something, and I'm curious what you think about it, Dick, because you're in Canada.
I know what you're going at. Yep.
We'll go, okay, so it was Canadian MAGA. Is there a thing? Is there a like that the guy whose name I can't pronounce, and I have to keep going because there's a lot of people I can't pronounce.
Yeah.
Right. Who is the conservative who got himself kicked out because he wouldn't like not say that the guy was a wacko or an extremist or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so I put that out, and then I got mixed reviews back, but they tended to be that, yes, we have a similar kind of thing as in the United States, but no, it's not Trumpish MAGA, but it's a similar kind of effect. Is that fair?
Yeah, it's very, very similar. Now, I'm not huge into politics, but because I'm not huge into politics, I feel this reverberating within the communities in Canada, and I'm really feeling it. Professor, we've got dudes doing the trucks with the flags and mandate freedom on the back windows and all that all over the place. It's unbelievable. We even get some who start talking about their amendment rights. Well, how does that work?
I'm not sure what that means in Canada.
It means nothing. So you're
Yeah, 'cause you guys
paying
don't have
attention.
I can tell that Dr. Gertis is the smartest among us because he has the biggest head.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm fixing that right now.
Oh! I thought that was natural. Oh, okay.
My body's this big.
Oh my gosh! Now they've got Gertis telling jokes. I'm losing it here. You know what it was? Actually, I think Professor Gertis was feeling sorry for me, and he just come in here to help. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a losing
That's what
cause.
you think. He actually just joined in to help us bully you.
Yeah.
So, Dick, going back to this Canadian MAGA, I think that there's a real international movement and counter movement on extremes of both political wings, right? There's a left leaning version, progressive, woke kind of something, and then there's a counter reaction. And I'm not sure which side caused which, right? But let's just say there's an extremist on one side, and an extremist on the other side. And you see it in America, you see it in Canada, you see it in Poland, you see, I mean, like there's many European nations have this kind of tension, and we've just become more extremists on either side, and it's harder and harder to find like rational, and I don't mean moderate. I'm about as conservative as you make them, but I'm not moderate. I'm just polite, and it's hard enough to find. No, what I mean by that is like from things Commander McMillan has said, we're on different sides on certain political issues, but I could sit down and have a logical conversation with him, and we could disagree and learn from each other at the same time.
That's
and
right.
It's harder and harder to find people like that. It's like, where did the adults go?
It's all toxic now. There's no conversation, right?
Like if you don't believe what I believe, you're evil, and that is a terrible way to have a civil discourse in society.
It's becoming increasingly occult behavior. You know, it's
I
they don't
personally
respect
believe
other people's opinions.
I'm sorry. Go PT. I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I was saying that it's increasingly becoming a cult behavior. It's becoming very polarized. Either we're talking about the left or the right, and people are losing the ability to sit down and talk, really. And I absolutely agree with that.
Yeah. I would say you remember, if you go back to like the Reagan administration, back in time, you had Dems and
Greg's interested.
but you had the two sides of the argument, but they were able to agree when something was to be agreed, when it was good and proper. That's eroding really fast right now, and unfortunately that stalls democracy and makes it so that it's not really for the people. Now you're just fighting for supremacy.
Well, I'm just going to say, we don't have to go Reagan because you got Gertis and I in here. We'll start jumping up and down, but we can go Jimmy Carter. We can go, we can go Richard Nixon. We can go LBJ. It doesn't matter. Okay. Even early days, early Clinton days, the Bushes, you could still have a conversation. You could still have a communication. You could still disagree, but there was at least a conversation that could be had. We're at the place now, I think Dr. Gertis is saying, where sometimes it's even difficult to have a conversation and to communicate about differences. I personally feel, and I have no proof for this other than just watching and doing what I do in my normal life. I interact with a lot of people, and I work in 38 nations. I see lots of different cultures, and I am convinced, I have no way to prove it, zero, but I am convinced that a lot of this comes from social media. I don't know how to.
Yes.
I do not know how to qualify it and to quantify it. I don't know how to put percentages on it. None of that. But I can tell you, people's behavior has changed significantly over their ability to have normal interaction and conversation.
Yes.
Due to social media being used to incite behavior that's really even atypical. I can't tell you how many hateful emails I've received since my channel starts growing.
Well, hey, look, I'm right here. You don't have to pants me publicly.
Yeah. How many hateful emails I've received, but let me
Curtis.
Let me explain this to you. What I've done, I try my best to respond. You know what? You do have a valid point, and thank you for bringing it to my attention. I apologize for maybe communicating that in a way where I can see your viewpoint. So stick around. We're all going to get better on this. I have my view, you have yours, but we're going to work towards this. And every time I've replied like that, which is every time, and it's always kindest regards.
I should take a note from you, because I usually just tell people to go blow goats, right?
Well, yeah, I know. But
welcome,
I can't
Dr.
do
Curtis. Welcome to the stream.
Yeah,
the point being, when you respond that way versus any other way, you find that you still can have that dialogue.
Yeah.
And this is what we need to rediscover in our world. I sincerely believe that.
I agree.
Okay.
I was being facetious.
Get ready for this. Romans 12:20. But if your enemy is hungry, feed him, and if he is thirsty, give him a drink. For in doing so, you will heap burning coals on his head.
Greg just got a hard on.
So,
oh my goodness.
So I'm not a theologian, but Greg might be able to verify this. I understand that the heap burning coals on his head isn't hurting him. It's actually the people would carry baskets, and the burning coals is helping them keep whatever warm. It's actually doing something positive. It's not
correct.
You're destroying them. You're like, so that's the context of that. But yeah, the spirit of that is right. And if I say you're a jerk and I hate you, how do you respond? Well, you're a jerk and I hate you back, right? I mean, this is human nature. Well, what if I don't respond that way? What if I say, well, let's talk about it. Let's think. What happened here? It just changes the dynamic, and there's not a lot of that going on. Now, I want to take this back to Ukraine, Russia. I was reading a book by Rebecca Koffler, Putin's Playbook. This is the first place I saw it, but then it seems verified by the Mueller report, or pieces of the Mueller report at least, that Putin's ambition back in 2016. Now, Koffler's argument is that Russia wasn't trying necessarily just to promote or push Trump so much as to make it really ungovernable for Hillary, because they thought that she would win, right? Now, whether that's true or not, what they were doing was they were inflaming either side, a BLM type group or a white supremacy group or whatever could inflame and divide us. And that's so, but it's easy to inflame and divide. It doesn't take humans hardly anything to do that. But the focus on what unites us, that takes a little more effort.
Yes.
And that's what we need to be doing.
And commitment. Yeah. And it's
much more challenging.
Yeah.
Well, going back
much
to
more rewarding. Let's yes.
Going back to what Greg was saying earlier about the social media and how this is it is yes, the Russians took advantage of a situation pretty early on with like Cambridge Analytica and these things, but it's the we could argue it's the algorithms. It's so the social media is it finds what we like and gives us more of what we like. Okay, so if it detects, and in the divergence, it's like the Great Divide, right? So the water can flow all the way to the Atlantic or the Pacific, but it's just based on that one choice. So as soon as you make that one choice, and then all of a sudden you're going down this algorithmic rabbit hole that leads inevitably, and eventually you're going to get to the flat Earth.
Yeah. There was a YouTuber that recently did this. Start a new account. Start clicking on videos. How long does it take to get you to the point where you're in the rabbit hole? And it was literally about 36 hours. That's it. It was about 40 clicks, really. It was really bad. We got to give the floor to PT fella because his batteries are running out and he's going to have to say goodbye to everybody and stuff here.
Yeah, thank you. So my main microphone was having trouble in the beginning. That's why I didn't enter the show. And my external mic is running low already. So I'll have to go. And just wanted to say it was a pleasure to meet all of you. Everyone in the chat that is helping the campaign, thank you so much. You have our absolute respect. We do read every message you leave on the donor box. I've seen that a bunch of people have donated multiple times. We do read your messages, so thank you so much, guys. Take care, and it was awesome being here. Thank you.
Great to have you aboard again, PT fella. Talk to you soon, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
And we will do a community post coming up with the shout out board with everybody's messages on the campaign and stuff. We'll get that out very soon. As it pertains, we're at 2 hours, so we've got a little bit of a long run time here. Who cares, right? What are you going to do?
Professor Gertis, while you're thinking, Dick, question for you. We'll get your opinion on this, but so you had a busy week this week. So do you have school stuff during the summer, or do you have?
Yeah. I'm still trying to get my syllabi ready for Monday.
Oh, Christ.
Okay. Yeah. If you need help on that, call Dick.
Oh, I'm sure he'll be great.
Oh yeah. Let me look up the word and figure out what's going on. No, I'm kidding.
When we started the stream, we actually talked about Russia putting Zelensky on their most wanted list. And for me, it was a net positive because I think that only furthers Ukrainian resolve to fight on. It was like you're picking on my president. Now, I may not agree with him, but as a Ukrainian, or many do, but he's my wartime president. And okay, that's stupid. So that's not going to help the situation. You got any thoughts on that?
Yeah. What's the charge?
Oh, exactly.
It was for articles.
Exactly.
Like they didn't even say. So that made me think of Solzhenitsyn in the Gulag Archipelago. He was talking about like they would write the laws so vaguely that they could get you for anything. Right. Well, that's pretty much what's going on there. So this is nothing. I mean, this means no more than it meant yesterday before they did it, because if they could get them, they would get them. But
I compared it to the ICC with Putin's charges. It means nothing in the big picture because nothing's ever going to happen from it.
Absolutely. They do this backwards smoke and mirrors, like reverse image thing. So
I just thought, okay, for me, it's actually a positive for Ukraine. So thank you.
I considered it to be the same as putting marshmallows in a jar so you could spread them on toast. It's just really strange.
Like spitting on a fish?
Yeah, we have this weird thing on the shelf in Canada where you can get this marshmallow mash in a jar that you're supposed to use as a food, and it's just revolting. What is wrong with people?
It's kind of like melted. I don't know what it is, but it's sold here in South Africa as well. It's like a marshmallow whip, basically.
Like and I've never. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's like a marshmallow fluff. Yeah, it's like fluff.
One thing I have to say.
All I know is I just know people who like. I've never known anyone who uses that as a bread spread. Like they just eat it straight out of the box.
Oh, that's even worse.
They just eat it like that.
Yeah.
One of the things I have to say about living in Ukraine, probably two of the things that I really miss the most. being from New Mexico and California, the first is good salsa. Yeah. I actually grow my own chili pepper plants. I grew 25
Cool.
jalapenos last year. This year I'm growing habaneros. But yeah, chili pepper and peanut butter. Peanut butter almost doesn't exist here. Yeah, it sucks.
Oh, that would.
That's
Yeah,
almost universal across Europe. Europeans
Yeah.
generally just don't like peanut butter.
They're just
Now,
not
you can
into it.
find it somewhat.
Nutella? Well, it's because they have Nutella. So they're like, why do we need
James.
peanut
Yeah, exactly. Why would you need peanut butter?
I'm
James.
sorry.
Yes,
I'm
Greg,
sorry.
yes.
I have to hit a button as it pertains to the lack of peanut butter.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yes.
Oh gosh.
Greg.
You're late, Greg.
I know, Pat. Listen, if it keeps going, I'm gonna start smoking. Pass me a cigarette, Dick. Okay, now listen. James,
I'll roll you a funky one.
Please tell me,
Oh,
Greg,
God.
you have a secret source of peanut butter.
I
That'd be
do.
great.
I do.
Oh, I
Of
love you.
course, it's Greg.
I love you, man.
It's
So,
connected to everything.
We'll get you some peanut butter, bro.
Oh, Jesus, that is beautiful.
Yeah,
That's a beautiful
Jesus will
thing.
help too, but I'll make sure we send it. If it doesn't get to Sunday morning and I get to church, I'm just gonna.
So,
Professor
I would-
Gertis, I'm coming down to your way tomorrow. Can you baptize me? I think I need some refreshment here.
So back to the question that you had, Greg, with
Yes, sir.
we were talking about I said there was like smoke and mirrors is like a reverse image of things. They do this all the time. I showed this I don't know if it was yesterday evening, I guess it was yesterday morning. I showed this little clip about how Shoigu said that there were 111,000 Ukrainians wiped off from January 1st till yesterday or the day before. And so I did the math and looked at what Ukraine said about how many Russians were removed. And would you imagine this? It was almost exactly the same figure. That was, if you looked at January 1st, how many casualties, and you looked at yesterday, how many casualties, it lined up within 1,000. Because they do this backwards, like projection reversal thing all the time. So anyway.
Wow.
Well,
But
it's
it's
like
actually-
watching school kids at the, yeah, well, your mom's ugly. Well, so
your
is
mom
yours. Yeah, I mean, it's the same level of discourse.
All right, somebody's going to cut that out and hear me saying your mom is, and
I know that's coming.
it's going to become
Oh,
some meme
my.
somewhere.
Yeah.
You'll have to.
You're just gonna walk into class and your students are gonna play the sound clip over and over. again.
Mama.
No, it's there's a ringtone coming.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
I actually saw this on Twitter where this guy, who is he? He's the president of the Kyiv School of Economics. Oh, he's actually the Minister of Economy, used to be the Minister of Economy of Ukraine, 2019 to 2020. Okay. But he showed this post where Mario Novell, weird name, but okay. He just showed how easy it is kind of to spread propaganda on Twitter. And what this Mario guy did is he posted on Twitter that Ukraine forces pregnant women to serve in the military while strippers are exempt.
Oh my God.
What?
No, it's fake. Obviously,
Just to
it's
see
fake.
what would happen.
Obviously, but
Obviously,
wow.
there were easy signs that the accusation is false, but the post gained almost 200,000 likes until it was removed. Okay. So first, one of the things that it was fake, since no one is apparently just going to read this and be like, "There's no way this is true." Apparently, we now need to. Obviously, you need to break this down. Okay. So the first thing is, women aren't even required to serve in the military. They can volunteer, but it's not demanded. And then he also said he's screenshotted the exact tweet from this Mario guy, saying debunked Ukraine recruitment methods, error in reporting. Earlier, it was reported that Ukraine had issued a new order to recruit HIV/cancer patients and exempt strippers. What we thought was verified by official reports turned out to be forged documents. Unfortunately, reports are sometimes wrong in the fog of war. As soon as we were alerted of the error, we removed the post within minutes. We apologize for any confusion or concern our earlier post may have caused and value community feedback to ensure we have the most accurate information.
It's like a Monty Python credits. The people that were responsible for those have been sacked, and we've sacked those people as well.
People who sacked the people who were sacked have been sacked.
So the post was removed, and it's like, yes, that's true. That was the right thing to do. You removed it and everything, but the damage has already been done.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a question for you. I can't remember the minister's name. Was it Jackson Hinkle or Scott Ritter?
This guy. This is Mario Nawful. N-A-W.
Okay.
Yeah. So no. And then, but I mean, so he made the point that first of all, anyone who was just looking at this at face value should have been able to tell that this is obviously fake. And then this guy who is a Twitter affiliate, if I'm correct, if I interpret his little thingy next to his like icon next to his name, he posted this, and obviously he posted his retraction and sorry, I deleted the tweet and everything. But the corrected message did not get the same amount of traction.
Yeah, sure. And there's academic studies that show that truth goes much slower on Twitter than lies. Emotional content goes much faster than just, plain facts, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Well, I think part of it is that the critical thinking involved for people to look at these things and say, that's obviously BS. They don't engage in it. It's this instant gratification of, oh yeah, strippers are getting exemptions.
What's the most shocking thing?
Exactly. It's morons on parade.
We're doing this to ourselves. That's the thing. Is this technology? Just like we're probably not smart enough to have nuclear weapons, we're probably also not smart enough to have social media. I mean, by the same token.
Agreed. At least for a good chunk of the populace,
Seriously.
Yeah, so I just found that interesting. Like, it's a good example of how something that's so absurd and absolutely ridiculous was taken, posted, and people just believed it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of that thing where you're like, what? But it was,
So I have an analogy here with social media. World War I was very different than the Civil War because the fighting was very different. It was trench warfare as opposed to line up and mass fire, right? World War II was mechanized, so it was different than World War I. What's going on in Ukraine with UAVs is undoing everything that we understood about warfare before, where you could mass your troops and heavy mechanized tanks, whatever. I think social media is like the cultural equivalent of undoing what we did before, just like that in warfare. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's how I
perfect sense.
Yeah.
Well, it's the freedom of choice. I mean, it's giving you the choice to, it's the AI, if you will, trying to give you what it thinks you want. And I think at some point we have, big tech in America and around the world likes to think that it is somehow not a part of this war, that it's somehow a neutral. I mean, I'm sure that whoever at Shopify disabled my my fundraising website probably had something like, oh well, we can't take sides in a war.
Yeah.
And he's doing something for the war. I mean, I have no idea because they haven't even responded to me in more than almost 3 weeks now. So, but and the same thing is true. I know Dr. Gertis and those of us who have had problems on YouTube and various other platforms where, I mean, they really fail to take responsibility for their, just like, evil persists when good people do nothing, right? So evil also persists when big tech does nothing, right? So as evil grows when big tech or when our technology tries to say, oh, well, we don't know what's good and what's bad. There is clear morality here. And we need to start putting pressure within the United States especially, but I think it might end up being the EU that does this, is to put pressure on big tech, all of these companies with their algorithms and Facebook and YouTube and all of those to push against, to actively push against not just the Russian propaganda, but to draw a line somewhere that says, no, we're not going to let our algorithms drag you down to whatever the crazy level, flat earth or crazy, Dugan, whatever craziness. We're going to have some line that is not going to get crossed. And the problem is the only thing that big tech does that with is anything about the children, because we've got this law, this SEPA law that is so pervasive that they're actually using it like a hammer to censor the public from getting real news about Ukraine. Right? Anytime protecting the children gets brought up, it always ends up getting used.
Would somebody please think of the children
every single damn time? And there has to be, I mean, it's a complex problem, but there has to be a solution to it where we're not just saying we're protecting the children.
It's a lot more. It's a lot more complex than we think too. And the real difficulty is who enforces it. Actually controls it.
Oh, sorry, we don't talk about that YouTube channel on this channel.
I wasn't talking about
just kidding.
channel.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, whoever gets to regulate it, control it, determine that is really going to. Are they really going to be an even-handed, neutral?
Of course.
Factor so you got a real problem. But controlling the bots seems like something they should be able to do. Except it's inflaming the business model and helping them make money. It's they don't have any.
The only line they care about is that bottom line.
Yeah,
that's right.
Crossing an ethical line is irrelevant to them.
No,
and that may very well be. I don't know for sure, but it doesn't seem like. It seems like they must have the smarts somewhere to figure out at least the bot part. The other part, I'm not even sure how to fix, but at least the bots, because the bots are terrorizing the system, and it's like a pathogen hijacking, like AIDS does, hijacking your cells and mutating it, or cancer working against you within the system, which is not necessarily a bad system, but you have maybe some bad actors within the system, and then that's just being inflamed by the bots. So I'm not sure how you fix it.
My personal theory is we need to change the laws on corporations.
It's legislation. It is.
Yeah, it's legislation. We need to change it. And specifically, corporations are only required, in fact, they are required to only care about the bottom line.
Exactly.
About how much money they make.
It has to be about more than Wall Street. Right?
We need to recognize that corporations are Dr. Gertis, you can disagree, but
I do.
Corporations, in my mind, are government. They're created by government, and they are inherently a part of government.
No, I do disagree, and I disagree about the bottom line. There's long-term greedy that's good. Like long-term greedy means you create a sustainable system that you can be greedy for the long term.
Look at Greg.
He's got the man up. Yeah.
He thought it was bad for him to storm off stage in anger when you said that. So he raised the icon, praised the holy icon.
I will not allow my opponent's youth and inexperience.
I realized as soon as people started laughing, because nobody's ever laughed at that point before.
I was confused at first. It took me a second.
I could see you were confused. I was like, no, I have to look at Greg for this one.
But you can be long-term greedy in the sense that you're trying to not like. So look, it's the same thing here with what we're doing. I'm trying to be as truthful as possible. I have a perspective, but I'm trying to put truth out. Greg's doing the same thing. Dick's doing the same thing, right? We're all trying to do that same thing. If you're not trying to do that, if you're trying to be like as crazy as possible in order to get as many clicks, you're in the long term, we're going to look at you and go, that's not, you didn't tell the truth this time, that time, and the other time, and you kind of do it to yourself. And so that's the same kind of thing as what I'm saying is long term, telling the truth, doing the right thing is good for that corporation. So while they do have to look out for the bottom line for their shareholders,
they should.
That's okay, as long as they're thinking long term. Which when they start doing stupid short term kind of juice the stock price kind of thing, that's when they get into issues.
Yeah, I agree entirely with that.
You've also got the whole issue, of course, that comes from a kind of how would you take? I'm going to have to use the word enforce. Sorry, that. But how would you go about enforcing something like that, right? Because if you go down that route that you suggested, I mean, does that mean like all the countries in the world are going to have to adopt that law? And every single country, or is it going because if it's just going to apply to America, why would any organization then or corporation register in America? They can just go and register elsewhere. Like as it is, most of your big companies like Facebook, Google, Meta and Google, their payments, that's based in Ireland because of the better
tax laws.
Tax laws. Okay. Mm-hmm. So it's not as simple as just to say, no, you have to enforce this. It's on the government to enforce it. It's not as simple because it's an entire legal ecosystem that you're looking at of like the rest of the world and other countries as well. And you can't just go and say, Yeah.
Michelle DeCorby had a very poignant statement here. She says, education. Teach people to know the bots, the trolls, how to spot the misinformation and disinformation. I think education is ultimately the key to all of this.
There's also a lack of education in a lot of the so-called first world countries as it pertains to this kind of thing. Critical thinking is just getting left behind at a staggering rate.
Hey, don't judge our third world country people here. You've got MAGAs there in America.
We got them in Canada. That's how stupid it is.
You've got them in Canada too. So you have your own critical thinking problems. Thank you very much.
I was calling out the.
Well, Yana, just make sure it was the demon possessed Dick doing that kind of judgmental thinking. As Professor Gertis and I sat here, and the other Americans in the panel, James and Commander McMillan, and we were just very honorable. It was the Canadian that went after you.
I didn't go after anybody. I was going after us all. But yeah, you see it all the time. I'm in my 50s now, and I talk to somebody that's in their 20s or something, and there's this thing where they've got it all figured out. They know exactly what's going on, and that they open their mouth and they don't got a clue.
Yeah. So do you think that's new, or do you think that's just that you're in your 50s?
Well,
there's to ask that as well.
There's a good point to that. There's a good point to that, but I do think that the social media and the way that opinions can be formed super quick these days without really looking into things is an issue now, not as much as it was, during the rotary phone days, right?
Okay. Yeah, and I think you're right. By the way, I just sent a link to the chat, journalismnow.org. That's Bellingcat. I'm going through a free course that they have about debunking and pre-bunking and how to see the difference. They do an excellent job. I'm only halfway through, but they've done an excellent job with that kind of thing. And we need to do more of that rather than just knee-jerk repeating a tweet. But we're just not thinking through that. Like the people that are thinking through that are going to have, quite an edge in being truthful long term. So I put that into our chat. I'm not sure how to get it into the chat.
I did. I just put it in. It's in the live chat now. Everybody can grab it.
That was really well done. But to your point, I think you're right. I think there's two levels. Like all 20-year-olds think more of themselves than they should. This is why we send 20-year-olds to war before they think like there's going to be a risk. There's something about that. Like they don't have their brain full yet. I see that all the time, right?
Yeah.
And then there's also a different level of millennials, and then Gen Z were just different than Gen X, and there's something different in the way that they think and process. I can't put my finger on it exactly, but I think
it's speed. They're just too quick to draw conclusions without having enough information.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I'm looking at the time
as
here.
As opposed to us boomers who calmly sit around and say, well, I don't have to come up with a response. I can just keep finding ways of saying, well, on the other hand.
Yeah. Fuck you, I'm retired. I don't even care.
I just want to know this. Leslie Bowe, I did see your message about the F-16s from Norway in Ukraine. They are going to give F-16s, and they are a part of the coalition to do that, but they're not in Ukraine yet. It's coming. Commander McMillan.
I've heard that the earliest we can realistically expect to see them over the front is perhaps around August.
Yeah, I'm sticking with my September prediction from a year ago.
I agree.
But they are in the coalition. They have repaired and replenished 12 of their 22 units, and there's further training and cooperation going on with the Danes as far as that's concerned. But they will be a part of the team sending F-16s. Commander McMillan, are you over 50?
Yes.
Are you over 60?
I'm over 65.
Okay. So over 65, I'm 50.
That's close enough.
Close enough. I'm 51. I'm just wondering. I like understanding. Dick's 53. Professor Gertis is late 40s.
No, 50.
Oh, he hit the 50. Yeah, he's trying to catch me. Yana is you can't ask Yana.
Turning 30 this month.
29, turning 30. Happy birthday. James, how old are you, if you don't mind sharing?
How old do you guys think I am?
Oh, someone was going to ask that one.
I'm going 36.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. 50? Did you say 50, Commander?
No, 40.
Oh, 40. Oh, that's pretty good. I am 2 years younger than Dr. Gertis.
Okay.
What?
I'm 48 years old.
Man, you look good, stud.
You haven't sold your soul in the portrait of Dorian Gray or something, have you?
That icon he has on the wall behind him.
No, but I did find this ring that turns me invisible.
Listen, the only one that sold his soul here is Dick Dawson, but twice I've cast the demons out of him. One more time tomorrow and we'll have it done. James, you look really good there, bud. You carried that well.
That's funny.
But my reason for asking that was not for the entertainment value, but was just to show you in this group where we're all giving different commentary. You've got over 3 decades in difference of ages between Yana and Commander McMillan, and we're all stuck in the middle. So it is a good sample
Stuck
from
in
some
the
different
middle
viewpoints.
with you.
With who?
Now I've got everybody in the chat dropping their age. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, it's good for engagement.
Yeah.
You're rolling, man.
Drive it.
No, I have an observation related to this, and that is that when you're about 50 or so and older, you see what's going on in Ukraine with a different set of eyes because you remember what the Cold War was like, and you remember the fall of the Soviet Union than you do if you drop a decade or two. And then you're like, whoa, what's the deal? I mean, it's Ukraine's part of Russia, and like, cause you don't have it together yet. And there is a big difference. Like most of my viewers are older than me. Like I should be hawking Metamucil on my channel.
Okay, Dick, only
My
on
wife
your
told me
channel will you get the
Super gold pawn.
no, it's Professor Gertis letting his hair down and talking about Metamucil for his viewers. And secondly, he talks about camera whore Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Look,
You know
that-
what, Dick?
I've been trying to work
I
that in the
couldn't-
whole time.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
No, it wasn't. It just wasn't. It was amazing.
Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks, you know? So, no, but listen, in all seriousness, I did see somebody in the chat, and I've actually wanted to do this, and I'll just ask this publicly right now. I've actually wanted to, on one of my live streams, when I have a larger audience in there, put a poll question up, because I know YouTube gives us backdoor demographics, but I would like to see, like on a live stream, what the ages are in there watching. And somebody was in here in your chat, it went by a long time ago. Do you guys ever do polls? I'd be interested just to see it.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to do that one night. If it's, I guess that wouldn't be disrespectful, would it?
No.
Okay.
No, because if
No.
you ask people their age, then not.
No, I'd have a 10-year gap, but it's interesting.
Yeah.
I ask if that's disrespectful, and it's Dick Dawson's the first one that says, no.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand your caution now.
No, it would be interesting. Okay, guys,
Yeah.
one night next week, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
I'm just interested to know for myself, to be honest.
Yeah. YouTube's the numbers and stuff make no sense to anyone at times when you look in the back,
I assume it would be based on the people putting in accurate information when they put their birth date in.
which they don't. I mean,
I don't either.
yeah. You know?
Wait, I'm the only innocent person. I'm honest. Like, this is my birthday.
There's the 30-year-old. See, we're proving it right now. That's the 30-year-old. The 50s and 60s ago. You ain't getting my birthday, sucker.
Exactly. Yeah.
We just proved it, guys.
But I mean, it's once again a thing like, oh yeah, quick, here's an app. I'll do this, download this app, this. My dad's like, I don't trust that. I will go into the bank. I'm like, why do I have to go into the bank? There's an app for that, you know?
That's what I do. You want to know what's funny? Okay, and I do have to go, but here's what's funny.
Yeah, we do as well.
I go into the bank and do my banking. Can I bank online? Yes. Can I pay bills online? Yes. Can I do all of that? Of course. I'm technologically capable. But when I'm home and not traveling, I physically go into the bank. I take my kids with me. I make them meet the bankers, meet the tellers, know them by their first names, et cetera, et cetera. Why? Because we've lost that in a lot of our society. Mm-hmm. And I was just in Ukraine and I was having an issue with my bank. And I literally from Ukraine picked up, was able to call the branch, talked to the manager. I said, hey, it's Greg. I'm in Ukraine. Yeah, what's the problem? And was still able to get that personal service and fixed. And I try to teach that actually to my kids. Go to the bank, go to the post office, meet people. Don't trust only an app, please.
Exactly.
And, I think that would also help. Our tellers are happy to see a person. That's correct, Denise.
Darn right. And it's good to have a rapport with these people because they're important in your life, right? You know,
y'all wanted to know this one? Okay, I'm showing my age now. I physically pay my car insurance bill to my agent. Why?
Yeah.
Because cash or with a check?
With the check. If I have a problem, I have my agent's personal number. We're friends now. You see what I'm saying? But okay, I'm showing my age.
While we're on here,
Ukrainians think this is
you can use this to make telephone calls.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Somebody get Greg a bicycle. He's got to go see the doctor.
Luckily, I still had we still had dial-up internet, so I at least know what that is, and like tape cassettes. So we were a bit, so at least.
And here comes the Dick Dawson third world country joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was waiting for that actually. I was going to make it myself, and I couldn't figure out how to lead into it.
Dr. Gertis, I'm sorry. Are you telling me that you actually make phone calls on your porn screen?
I'm sorry. Say that again? No, don't say that again.
Don't say that again. Professor Gertis.
So the reason that I was
go.
explaining that was because I was explaining to my 18-year-old, like she was like, well, they haven't gotten back to me. And I texted him like twice. I'm like, you can pick this up and punch these numbers and listen to it. And they'll talk.
To them.
So,
Okay,
No,
you know what?
Yeah.
Come Monday for my 5 o'clock stream, there's not going to be a soul in there. I still write a to-do list with pen and paper.
I have sticky notes.
Okay.
Put them up.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I follow the to-do list, but I do make them
There
occasionally.
we go.
my partner Dunk on the channel recently, I said I had to go get more sticky notes to put on things, and he was like, you have a Mac, they have a sticky note app, and I was like, it's not the same. I need them to be tangible, man, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but we've got to
Well, thank
call
you.
it and wrap it up because my son's gonna start flipping out if I don't end this, right?
I thought we were going to keep streaming. I mean, Rick the Ukrainian is going live in 12 hours. I thought we were going to keep going with it.
James, you sit around and wait for him, and
Dick, not
hold
Rick.
the fort.
He's the marathon man. He's crazy. He's unbelievable. So let's go around the table here and see what everybody's got for shilling out and self-promotion and stuff as we wrap it up. Professor Gerdes, what do you got for us, buddy?
whatever Greg Terry is doing is what I'm shilling for.
Good shout. Good
No,
shout.
seriously, I don't actually want anything to come to me or through me. Greg's doing the stuff on the ground. I just point
Yeah.
my people toward him. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be the middleman.
It's a good shout. Awesome. So Greg's going to do 2 shout outs at the end then. James, what do you got, buddy? What's going on?
Well, as you know, right now, my fundraising website is in transition, let's say. But what I will say is, and a lot of your viewers here who are in my Discord and stuff know this, I can't talk about what we have going on, but we have some really big plans and some really, I think, what are going to be really powerful, impactful initiatives that, you get the right group of people together and let them go. And I think it's I can't tell you yet, but it's going to be really amazing. Cool. The second thing I would like to say is that, going back to our NAFO fella, PT fella, when I was out meeting with the drone teams last week, I guess technically it was the week before last now because we're into a new week. But I asked them, so, what do you need? What are your biggest priorities in terms of drones? And I was expecting him to say, oh, we need this kind of drone and that drone. They said, no, the first thing we need are vehicles. Okay, because we can't deploy the drones unless we can drive to the place where we need to deploy the drones. The second thing we need are the EcoFlows and batteries and things, so we can power the drones and the laptops and the tablets. And then the last thing we need is the actual drones.
Yeah.
So I just can't emphasize enough how important the 69th Sniffing Brigade is.
Yeah.
And I really would love, once again, somebody that I really wanted to spend a lot more time talking to had to go early, and I'm like, but just such an incredibly important thing going on. So
Good shout, man. Good shout. Good shout. Yeah, we've got the fundraiser going. We'll get the link in the chat. It's pinned at the top as well. Give us a hand with that, everybody, because it definitely counts and it matters. We've got Commander McMillan. What do you think, buddy?
I know everything, and what I don't know, I make up.
That was the most honest thing ever said on this show.
Yeah,
That'll carry you a long, long way in life. That really
Yes, it
will.
does. So I'll do my usual. Please, reminder to everybody, contact your elected officials and keep pressure on them to ensure that Ukraine receives the support that it so desperately needs.
Yeah,
That's
exactly. Exactly. And we've got Yana from Project Constantine.
Yeah, guys, thank you for being here. Yeah, thanks for being here. I was like, am I going to say it out? Didn't line it up.
That was the sound of the train hitting a brick wall.
Literally. But yeah, so guys, chat. Thanks for being here. Just a reminder of our Sunday show tomorrow night. We have Dr. Serhi from Bodro Clinic. And he is with him he'll be joined by a soldier who he's rehabilitated. This guy is the soldier is a major, and he now does captain training. So the event is up, or the stream is scheduled on the Shills, already on the Shills channel. You can read about it. It's really cool, guys. So it's awesome. We're going to fundraise for Dr. Serhi's clinic because they rehabilitate soldiers free of charge with the state-of-the-art clinic they have.
So open your wallets, fellow babies.
Yeah. So there's that. And then also, really, yes, NAFO trucks are awesome.
Yes.
And believe me, especially when I heard like the extra set of mud tires, it's muddy season again. It's going to be muddy season again soon, guys. In the past, we've been pulled out by a tank out of the mud. We've been pulled out by a tank. Okay.
So Rasputitsa is still in effect, huh?
I mean, it comes and goes, that's the thing.
Yeah. So they are necessary.
Yeah.
But okay. Yeah. Greg, over to you.
Thank you, Yana. Thank you, Dick. I would just like to say, first of all, thank you to everyone in the chat. Great crowd in here tonight, and appreciate all of you, because without you guys being here and supporting Ukraine, we'd all just be talking to Dick and being poorly influenced for life decisions. But due to your graciousness, we thank you for that. Also, Commander McMillan, kudos to you. That's the best Donald Trump impersonation I've ever seen. I know everything, and what I don't know, I make up. Thank you for that.
He has everything but the hair.
That was phenomenal. With spray paint some orange on
What's
you.
that?
Dick, that was a good one right there. Listen, my mind's sharp right now. I think I'm smelling some of what you're smoking. I'm not really sure, but I'm really sharp right now. James, always a tribute for you, brother. You're in Ukraine. You're fighting for that nation, and many props to you. So many people talk about Ukraine, and all they do is talk. You're there. Yeah. You're helping. You're serving, and kudos to you, Yana. Same for you and all of your tireless work. Your help with me and my personal channel, and your Project Constantine, glorious work there. And shout out to Pete. And I'm probably gonna get Pete on next week. I'm going to be adding a segment. I'm going to try to do this once a week, because what I did yesterday with Jake Bro was wildly successful for me. And
I was going to try to turn to that today. What were some of the more popular questions, but we just didn't get to it. Yeah.
But what I did was I announced it a couple days early and put a community post up, and people put their questions in, and I chose 20 randoms, did 20 questions, but I really want to do that. I've already sent a message to Jonathan Fink from Silicon Curtain, and I really just want to start going through people and do Q&A and give the community a couple days to do questions. So we're going to do something like that going forward. And it was just really good, and people enjoyed it, and they were able to get their questions out, which it's what makes it a community. You can have interaction, and we all learn together. So, and always, Prof. Gertis, I always appreciate you, brother. I consider you my friend and partner, and we talk every day, and it's just my honor to go through life with you now. And I appreciate that. We had a big missions conference this morning here, and I can report to the YouTube community that since we started our efforts and Professor Gertis came up with the idea, let's raise $5,000 for Greg's going to the front, we've raised $440,000 since December 25th. And yeah, and since we started from day one of the war, we've raised $730,000. We're almost at $750,000. So by definitely end of 2024, we're going to break through the $1 million barrier. And we want to thank you guys. Wow. Right now, any donations coming in, we're filling the trucks with the most needed medical supplies, so that we don't only just drop an armored vehicle at 4 different places. And of course, Pete and Project Constantine will have 1 or 2, and then probably 3rd Assault, and then there's probably a 46th. But regardless, these trucks are going to be completely equipped and outfitted. They're in the export process now, and we're going to fill them with supplies. So donations coming in now are just filling the trucks. The genuine tourniquets, hemostatic bandages, Israeli bandages, all those. There's 5 key things. So that's what we'll be doing. And then once these trucks are delivered, because this is a major deal, guys. By the time I get there and we get this all done, it's a $260,000 project. It's $250,000. And and we talk with Professor Gertis. We do a lot of planning behind the scenes. Keep giving. We're doing the batteries. We're doing the medical, but there will not be another massive project revealed until I can put the keys in the hand, because I just can't ethically do that. But we will have a large project coming for women soldiers. Huge. Scream out on my channel for that. And
Cool.
there's 70,000 women serving on the in the Ukrainian army, and there are certain things they need. So Zhenya right now, props to you, Prof, is talking to commanders and asking them, okay, poll the female soldiers. What do they have that they do not have?
Good idea.
People are ready to get behind that. So that's where we're at. And we just want to say thank you, because without all of you wonderful people, that all of us from different backgrounds, nationalities, languages, colors, political affiliations, religious affiliations, we come together and we stand for Ukraine on this. And for that, I tell you all thank you and applause to you.
Yeah. Good shout, Greg. Good shout. A couple of super chats as I close here. We got the Wizard of Ooze. And it's the Coalition of the Cool. Love the good work. Word under our big umbrella. Live long, prosper, and donate. Love it. Love it. Leathercat came in with one. Unfortunately, the main cause is that the dumbing down of the populace is a huge part of the extremist cult behavior worldwide, not just in the United States. Absolutely. Getting behind that. Greg, I'm a Democrat and I love you, brother. That's from Danny Carver.
Danny Carver called our office, and don't ask me how I know this stuff. I just remember it months ago, and says, okay, I won't call his state. He's from the U.S. And he says, I support you guys. I trust in you. I believe in you. You the proof's in the pudding, and I'm giving a monthly donation. And he's been a recurring donator. So, Danny, thank you, sir.
Yeah, donator around here as well. Always supporting the cause. Danny Carver gets the hearts. How about that? There we go. Then we had Roberto Baggio and Danny Carver come in as members on the channel. It could be a recurring thing. Sometimes YouTube screws that up, but we'll give him the big old boom. XAJJ Killers there. Let's go with a big message. Loving that. And then Elizabeth came in with a super chat right at the end there for NAFO. So for NAFO it goes. And then we're hitting the big horns. Stephen Walsh came in with a direct donation of $130. Great stream. Keep it up. Into the NAFO fund it goes. I do believe at this point we can say thank you, everybody, for watching.
You need to thank the mods.
Yes, that's exactly. We got to thank everybody for watching and contributing. Remember, we've got our NAFO campaign going up right now. The link is pinned in the live chat. The number keeps going up, going up. We're over 10,000. We're going for 18. Let's do it. Let's do it. I can't thank you all enough for your help with this. And speaking of thanking everybody for their help, we've got our team in the background, because without them, we would be nothing. CF Beauty Annette for the Sunday show. You all know her very well. She runs the live chat, the moderator team, the research teams, and everything around here. We got Shayna Caldwell, the mercenary moderator herself, Janine Terblanche, Crazy Cat, and Tona Ottenson. So thank you, everybody. And with that, remember, always keep the people of Ukraine in your mind, in your heart, and in your soul. Because until we get the orc scum out of there and return that to a sovereign nation of its own choosing and doing, the world is not the happy place it should be. We've got to finish this.
Dick, thank you for all that you do. I want to make sure we say that publicly. You do a tremendous amount behind the scenes that people never know about. Guys, just so you know the quality of person Dick is, and I mess with him a lot, but I consider Dick my friend, and I know that comes both ways. But I'm telling you right now, anytime I have an issue technically, I literally can message Dick at almost any time, and it's instant a response back. Always so helpful. And Dick, you're a good man, and much respect to you, bud.
Thank you very much. I do try to help everybody that I can, especially, the Ukraine community. You got to help, right? Mark Snyder, 8022, just came in with a super chat as well with a big thank you on it. So thank you, everybody. Remember, fellow babies, there's a lot of places you can go and get great Ukraine content. There's Greg Terry, Professor Gerdes, James here at Why Ukraine, The Last Alliance. We've got ATP Geopolitics. There's a whole family of people. And I want you to keep track of everybody because it keeps you in the know and on the right side of the world.
History.
Yeah. Good one. Good
point.
Yeah. So with
I'll
that,
be on with Rick tomorrow. Tomorrow Rick's long live stream every Sunday, and I'll join Rick tomorrow. And just another great guy. I mean, there's really good coalition here, and thank you, Dick, for bringing us together every Saturday.
I try my best, fellow babies. So with that, we bid you all adieu. We hope you have a great day. Remember, Slava Ukraine.
Geroyam Slava.
I'm Slava.
Awesome. We're out of here, fellow babies. Thanks for joining us.
It's over. Go home. Go.